at the welterweight division, and he gotta take a back seat and take that 60-40 or 70-30, wherever we give him.
If we fight, it's going to be either 70-30, 80-20. Was that?
Man, I was when I said
posturing or what was that?
When did I say that?
You know, that was.
Yeah, I said it on my girl Instagram. But I was playing. Yeah, man, nobody taking no 80-20, 70-30. Yeah, I was playing. I was like, because I was like, it's gonna be 60-40, and I was like, yeah, he keep playing crazy. It's gonna be 70-30 or 80-20. Yeah. But yeah, I was playing. I wasn't serious about that, man. Like, people can't take jokes.
I was fooling y'all. Those was jokes. Woo! Woo!
Man, sit your ass down.
Negotiations, all of that's over behind closed doors. But just in terms of percentage, is Spence expected to get at least a slightly higher percentage than Crawford based on his pay-per-view sales? He has 3 belts, things of that nature.
Look, there's some arguments. Look, you could certainly say that the belts, that Crawford's got. That Spence has 3, and they get some a bigger split, or that Crawford's pay-per-views haven't quite done the numbers that Spence's pay-per-views have done. There are arguments, but you could also look at it and say Crawford's been #1 pound for pound. He's been a champion longer than Errol. So there's arguments on both sides. I think where we end up is something that's, if it's not 50-50, it's pretty close.
It's not 50-50, it's pretty close.
Not 50-50, it's pretty close.
I know that.
So what I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video.
Oh, look at this guy.
So before I get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I
mean? Jesus Christ.
So y'all see what the title of the video is, and y'all heard what Steven Espinoza had to say. If it's not 50-50, it's pretty damn close. You know what I mean?
I know that.
And I know I added damn in there, but he wanted to say damn. He just couldn't say damn. He trying to keep it professional. But at the end of the day, what he said is what he said. If it's not 50-50, it's pretty close. He made the arguments, right? The slightly higher pay-per-view numbers in favor of Errol Spence. But the #1 pound for pound status and the reigning champion status of Terence Bud Crawford is enough to warrant a 50-50, if not very close split, right?
If it's not 50-50, it's pretty close.
And I know a lot of Errol Spence fans are gonna try to spin this and take off with this and try to make it seem like close is somewhere in the ballpark between 60-40 and 80-20 or whatever the fuck you niggas logic you want to come up with.
Jesus Christ.
Steven Espinoza made it very clear that 50-50 was indeed the goalpost. And they're going to get as close to the goalpost as possible, whether that be 49-51 or whether that be 48-52. Either way, it's somewhere in the ballpark of an even split between both fighters, right? Because that's what both fighters deserve.
If it's not 50-50, it's pretty close.
Errol Spence does slightly higher pay-per-views, right? And I mean slightly because I done already showed y'all the numbers. Bud's last pay-per-view did 190. Errol's last pay-per-view did 240. So slightly higher pay-per-view numbers in the last fight. But at the same time, Terence Bud Crawford is a 3-time world champion. Sorry, 3-time 3-weight division, one-time undisputed world champion, while Errol Spence is in his first weight division, fighting in his first undisputed fight.
You won the belt with nobody.
10 years later into the weight class. So, again, fam, the facts are the facts. Hopefully now you Errol Spence fans will realize and understand the error of your ways when it comes to this whole 50-50 argument. 60-40, 70-30, whatever the fuck you niggas want to say in regards to what Bud should take or accept from an Errol Spence Jr.
I'm the big dog at the welterweight division, and he gotta take a back seat and take that 60-40 or 70-30, whatever we give him.
I mean, you niggas have been proven wrong and wrong time after time because, again, Errol Spence gave Mikey Garcia 50-50, and he gave Dennis Ugas 50-50. Two guys who not only bring less to the table money-wise, right? Because Bud has a track record on pay-per-view. Mikey Garcia and Dennis Ugas do not outside of Errol Spence, okay? So not only do they bring less to the table pay-per-view wise, but they also bring less to the table accolade wise. Mikey Garcia was a 3-weight division champion, right? But he was never an undisputed champion like Terence Bud Crawford.
Spence is a really good fighter, but I think Crawford is.
So, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you want to remix it, at the end of the day, Terence Bud Crawford deserves a 50-50 split at very least. Or, like Espinoza said, something very close. You know what I mean? Something very close.
You won the belt with nobody.
If it's not 50-50, it's pretty close.
Bitch ass motherfucker.
Payday. You want payday. I know that.
He's an email channel. He's fighting because somebody mailed him the belt.
Got him! So this argument is dead again. It's dead again. It was already dead, but it's dead again. You know what I mean? Because I did another video, which is part 2. And if you haven't seen part 2, check out part 2. I did another video in part 2 where I showed you 2 articles that both gave or both referenced a 50-50 split between Errol Spence and Dennis Ugas. Okay? So if you thought the first article was dumb, if you said it wasn't 50-50, well, I give you a whole nother article with much better numbers that also references a 50-50 split. You know what I mean? So if you haven't seen that other video, be sure to check it out. You know what I mean? But the moral of the story is the argument is dead. The argument is dead. If there's to be any kind of amicable agreement to be reached between Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, it needs to begin at 50-50. Period.
I know that.
I don't care what you niggas got to say. I don't care about Earl doing numbers in Dallas Stadium. I don't care about none of that bullshit. Because it don't mean shit when it comes down to doing business with the pound-for-pound king, Terence Bud Crawford.
If it's not 50-50, it's pretty close.
But let me know what y'all think about this shit, man. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button. But until next time, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.
He's an email channel. He's fighting because somebody mailed him the belt.
Man, what did I do? What it do, YouTube? What it do? I say, what it do? What it do, YouTube? What it do? Your boy King David in the building, man. What I do? If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button. You know what I mean? You know, but we got one hell of a show in store for you today. You know what I mean? We got one hell of a goddamn show in store for y'all today. You know what I mean? Let me make sure my sound is on point because I got a history of sound issues. So let me make sure my sound is on point before we get cooking. You know what I mean? Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. Bear with your boy. Cooking. You know what I mean? Okay, we here. We good. We here. You know what I mean? Salute to all the real boxing fans out there. You know what I mean? We here. You know what I mean? Salute to all the real boxing fans out there. I said we got a few people in the building already. My guy Mind of a Man podcast is here in the building. Y'all be sure to subscribe to Mind of a Man podcast. Salute to you, fam. You know what I mean? For coming through. You know what I mean? My guy D Nice is also in the building. Salute to you, D Nice. Yes, sir. In the motherfucking building. Salute to you, fam. And my guy Yardaway is also in the motherfucking building today. Salute to you, fam. Salute to you. You know what I mean? Salute to everybody for showing up, man. Pulling up on your boy, man. We're going to have a good show. We got a good show in store for y'all today, man. We're going to be talking some good boxing today, man. Because, you know, a lot has kind of been happening out here on these boxing streets, man, that we need to talk about. You know what I mean? But before that, man, let me read some of these comments, man. Mind of a Man podcast says, I'm here to represent no bias. Okay. Was that, you know, that's you saying I'm biased? Is that what you trying to say, Mind of a Man? You know what I mean? But, you know, I hear you though. 50K is not slightly. Okay. 50K, you trying to say 50-50? You know what I mean? I don't know what you're trying to say with that, you know what I mean? But we're going to get to it. You know, I'm going to drop the link a little bit later on so we can get all the way to the bottom of what it is you're talking about, though. You know what I mean? And my guy D-Nice say salute to you, D-Nice. And my guy Yahweh says Errol Spence Jr. versus you guys did less than 125,000. Crawford versus Spence did 135. Crawford should get a 60-40 or 55-45. His accomplishments and accolades are superior to Spence Jr. Salute to you, Yahweh. Yes, sir. In the motherfucking building, man. You know what I'm saying? I also got a poll going on. So let me go ahead and read this poll before I get cooking. You know what I mean? The poll says, or the question in the poll is, what percentage do you think the fight is to being done? You know what I mean? That's the question I asked in the comment section. You know what I mean? And I got 8% of y'all say the fight ain't happening. You know what I mean? 8% of y'all is like, I don't care what the fuck I see. I don't care about what I hear. I don't care about none of these rumors because most of these niggas be capping. You know what I mean? The fight ain't happening. 8% of y'all. You know what I mean? I got 33% of y'all that say it's 50% done. You know what I mean? 33% of y'all is like it's 50% done. You know what I mean? Close, but still got a ways to go. You know what I mean? They still hammering out some of the finer details, you know what I mean, in regards to the deal taking place, you know. I got 75. I got 33% of y'all, right? So option 2 and option 3 is tied up. I got another 33% of y'all that say the fight's almost done, not long now. So it's 75% done is what 33% of y'all are saying. You know what I mean? And then I got 100% of y'all, and then I got 25% of y'all that say the fight is done and they just haven't announced it yet. You know what I mean? That's what 25% of y'all are saying. 12 people voted. You know what I mean? So, you know, for me personally, I'm more so on the lines of 75% done. That's kind of where I'm at with the shit. You feel me? Like, and I'm gonna explain why. We gonna when I'm cooking, I'm gonna break down why I think it's 75% done and not 100% done. But I do think that the fight is there. I do think that it's there. I'm gonna explain more, but I do think the fight is there. You know what I mean? So that's the poll. But let's get cooking though. Let's get cooking. You know what I mean? And to start things off, bro, I just need y'all to understand like where I'm coming from in general when it comes to Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? I've always been very wishy-washy in regards to whether or not this fight was actually going to happen. You feel me? Because, I mean, obvious reasons. I mean, we seen Errol's energy when it came to Terence Bud Crawford over the last 4 and 5 years. We saw the get a belt first. We saw the 60-40, 70-30. We saw the other side of the street. We saw the easy route. We saw Errol Spence come up with all these bullshit ass reasons on why the fight couldn't happen. So your boy King David has always been very skeptical on whether or not I believe it's actually going to happen. You know, it is what it is. I mean, You know, there's been certain people out there who have always been confident that the fight will happen, but I just was never one of those dudes. I always felt like Errol Spence would, it was kind of like 50-50 on whether or not he would actually fight Bud Crawford. Because again, I mean, we know that anything could have happened in those 4 years in order to stop the fight from happening. We knew that Terence Crawford could have lost. We knew that Errol Spence could have lost. You know what I'm saying? We knew Errol Spence got an eye injury. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence got into a car accident. There were so many things that could have literally stopped this fight from happening. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like even at this point I was wrong for being very skeptical on whether or not the fight was actually going to take place, given everything that was going on 4 and 5 years ago. You feel me? Or during the last 4 and 5 years. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, with that being said, my wishy-washiness on this, the prospect of this fight happening has kind of passed in a sense, because I'm almost pretty sure that this fight is actually going to take place. You know what I mean? You know, I'm almost pretty sure, you know, always. And let me see. Hold on. Let me see something real quick, bro. See something. My guy D Young in the building. Salute to you, D Young in the motherfucking building, man. He say salute. My guy Cash in the building. Salute to you, Cash. Oh, we live, baby. Yes, sir. Live. 365 on here, man. Y'all know what time it is. Salute to y'all for coming through, man. Y'all know how we gonna cook tonight. We gonna cook today, all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? But back on point though. I really think that we are really close to this fight getting done. You know what I'm saying? I really think that we're real close to this fight getting done. And I started to kind of feel that way after Errol Spence finally said Bud Crawford's name. You know, he finally said Bud's name after 4 years, you know, which is all we've been asking for as boxing fans, is for Errol to just say Bud's name. Like, hey, make it known to the people out there in the boxing highways and byways that you actually want the fight. Because up until now, we just simply haven't gotten that. You know, Errol Spence has climbed in the ring with other fighters like Danny Garcia, and he's made it very known that he wants to fight inferior fighters like Jeff Horn and things like that. When Bud Crawford has made statements in the past, Errol Spence has decided to, instead of come at Bud Crawford, go at other guys like Blair the Flair Cobbs and things like that. So it's just been a pattern of this type of thing. But after Errol Spence called out Bud Crawford, we kind of saw a bit of a shift. And this is just one of the things that kind of leads me to believe that the fight is actually going to happen. And y'all see how that worked? Like Errol Spence calls out Bud Crawford, and now we kind of getting the fight about to happen, you know? Like, that's all we ever wanted. That's all we ever wanted as boxing fans. It also goes to show you, it makes you think, like, if this would have happened 4 and 5 years ago, maybe we would have got the fight 4 and 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it would have happened then. Because we see all it took was for Errol to actually call Bud's name and show interest in the fight in order for the right things and the right things to happen in order to get the fight done, you know? But that's just one of the few things that was just laid out here, man. You know, it's definitely moving in a direction where we should be able to get the biggest fight at welterweight. But another thing is, this. Errol Spence really got nowhere to run. That's another thing about this situation, right? Errol Spence is really in a situation where there's really nobody else for him to fight. Everybody else on the table is either a high risk, low reward fight or a low risk, low reward fight for him. So anywhere besides the direction of a Terence Bud Crawford is just an unfavorable situation for Errol Spence, thus leaving him in a situation where, like, bro, this is the only fight to make. win, lose, or draw, you know? So for me, another indication that this fight is actually going to get done is Errol Spence is kind of backed into a corner. He really is backed into the corner. And I know a lot of Errol Spence fans don't like to hear that. I know a lot of y'all don't like that I'm bringing this shit up, but it is what it is. I mean, we know that Jaron Ennis is the IBF mandatory. You know what I mean? We know that. We know that Virgil Ortiz is number 1 in the WBC. These are high risk, low reward fights for Errol Spence. You know what I mean? We know that Keith Thurman is probably number 1 or number 2 in the WBC. You know what I mean? Keith Thurman would be the definition of maybe a low risk, low reward fight. But nevertheless, actually, it'd be a high risk, low reward fight for Errol Spence if we're him to fight somebody like a Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? But the moral of the story is this. Any other direction that has nothing to do with a Terence Bud Crawford is toxic for Errol Spence. Point blank, period. So he's in this situation where it's like, bro, you either gonna fight or you're gonna end up looking a little crazy. Or you're gonna end up in a worse situation than what you're in right now. I mean, honestly and truly, it'd be a much more favorable situation for Errol Spence to fight Bud Crawford, lose, and then continue on with his career than try to avoid Bud Crawford, get into a fight with some of these other welterweights like Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, you know what I'm saying? These other guys fuck around and lose to one of them. And then now you've taken a smaller payday in an inferior fight versus a bigger payday for a much more important and lucrative fight. You know what I mean? So it's that type of situation. My guy Knockout Boxing 86 TV is in the building. I knew he wasn't going to like that comment. I already knew. He say, bro, stop it. The only one backed into a corner is Bud Crawford. How's Bud Crawford backed into a corner? Bud already said that if you don't want to get the fight with Errol Spence, he's going to move up and fight Jermell. He already said that. So we know where Bud mind is. Bud is like, look, I've been chasing Earl for 4 years. It's taken 4 years for us to get this far. In my mind, if I get the fight with Earl, cool, that's what I want. But if I don't get the fight with Earl, I'm cool with moving up to 154 pounds and fighting Jermell. And I know what you're going to say, Knockout. You're going to say, well, he's with PBC, blah, 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 blah. I get that. But just because he can't get the fight with Earl, that doesn't necessarily mean he can't get the fight with Jermell. That don't mean that. And then you know Bud is the WBO super champion, and you know that Jermell is going to fight Tim Tszyu later on this year. So if for whatever reason the fight can't get done with Errol Spence Jr., he can use that WBO strap to go straight at Jermell Charlo or Tim Tszyu, whoever comes out victorious in that fight. You know what I mean? So again, fam, Earl's the one that's really backed into the corner. Earl's really the one that's in a situation where it's either fight Bud Crawford or end up in a much more inferior situation, like a hard, like you gonna fight Boots Ennis, Errol Spence Jr. You gonna fight Virgil Ortiz? You gonna fight Keith Thurman? And Errol Spence already said he wasn't gonna fight Keith Thurman. So if he turned around and fought Keith Thurman after he told us all he would never fight Keith Thurman, then that would be him going against his word, would it not? My guy, mind of a man. I'm gonna just call you MOAM. Actually, that's probably a little bit harder. MOAN says, ask Terence on a date. Why don't you? Here you go with the bullshit. Okay, I see we got some Errol Spence fans. Okay, in the comment section. Oh yeah, I'm gonna drop that link. Oh yeah, rest assured, I'm gonna drop that link. And when I drop that link, when you come up here, you're gonna have to prove to me how Earl is not backed into a corner. MON, Knockout Boxing 86 TV. You're gonna have to explain to me what options Errol Spence has other than a Terence Bud Crawford. I can give you some fights that Bud will take. Bud has already been an undisputed champion. I mean, we done already been over this. Bud already been an undisputed champion, so it wouldn't be horrible for him not to fight Errol Spence. So what, he would just do what he already did, become undisputed again. You know what I mean? Errol's the one who needs this for his legacy. He needs this undisputed run for his legacy. Bud's already been undisputed. This will be his second go-round. Bud can hold on to the WBO belt and fight at 154. He can do that. You know what I mean? He don't have to stay at one. He don't got to fight at 140. He can go up to 154. Now, if he challenges Jermell, then yeah, he would have to drop the belt at 147 and fight at 154. But he don't have to do that right away. He could take a few fights at 154 against some big name fighters up there. And all that will be doing is adding to his legacy at the end of the day, because we already saw Bud hands already get cemented in stone. We already saw all that. We already know he going to the Hall of Fame. You know? Well, I got Box 86 TV say, when you drop the link, I'm a hop up, bro. It's too much type. I get you. You cooking as always. You cooking the wrong meal, though. I hear you, fam. I hear you. I knew you wasn't gonna like that part knockout. I already knew. That's why I prefaced it that way. My guy D Young say, I think it's going down. Word is Bud is meeting with Al this week, so we will see. Yeah, we will see. But I think a lot of people right now, a lot of people think the fight is a lot closer than what it actually is. I think the fight is actually probably about 75% done. I still think they got some stuff to do on that fight. You know what I mean? And I'm going to break down why I think it's only 75% done and not 100% done. I'm going to tell you why. You know what I mean? You know. So another thing, back on point, another reason why the fight is looking good to be done right now is because about a week ago, Showtime executive Steven Espinoza actually did an interview with a very aggressive reporter, I might say. And I ain't gonna play the interview here. I mean, you saw a little snippet of it. If you were listening to like the little video I had at the beginning, you saw a little snippet of that interview with Showtime executive Steven Espinoza, where he was pretty much saying, hey, well, the fight is pretty much, you know, we're working out the finer details of the fight. You know, if it's not 50-50, it's pretty close. That's how I imagine negotiations being, right? Just to surmise things a little bit. He pretty much said that it's an ongoing thing. If it's not 50-50, it's pretty close. And they're working out some of the finer details of it. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what you could surmise from that interview, right? But that's like another dead giveaway that we're probably gonna get this fight. You know what I mean? Showtime executive Steven Espinoza is speaking very, very optimistic in regards to the fight getting done, which I think, again, 75% being done. But this next thing is this interview that Bud Crawford did with Showtime Sports, right? And I think that's what has a lot of the internet on fire right now, right? The interview, my guy Breakdown with Kush the Great is in the building. Salute to you, fam. You know what I mean? Salute to you. But back on point. Another thing is this interview with Showtime, right? Showtime did an interview with Bud Crawford, and it has a lot of people on the internet kind of like real happy that the fight is done. Like a lot of people are running with like, oh, the fight is done. You know what I mean? And as much as I would love to believe it, I'm not so sure that that's what it is, right? And I'm going to tell you why, right? So we're going to play the interview. I'm going to play the interview afterwards, and we're going to dissect what's actually being said in the interview. But prior to that, there's two things I need y'all to understand before that, right? The first thing is the interview actually took place when Bud was over at the Hall of Fame, right? So the interview is actually a little bit old. It took place when Bud was doing the Hall of Fame thing a few weeks ago, right? So it's actually an old interview if you really think about it, right? Because we know Bud was getting his hands casted maybe 2-3 weeks ago at the Hall of Fame conference, right? So it's an old interview. It's no reflection of anything that's happening now with negotiations. If anything, it would have been more of a reflection of what would have happened 2 weeks ago with negotiations. So that's the first thing, right? But then the second thing that people don't really take into consideration, right, is that Bud Crawford is actually signed with Bally Sports, right? And a lot of people don't know what Bally Sports is because they're a real relatively small, newer company, right? But the main thing that you should know is that Bally Sports is a subsidiary or an affiliate of Showtime and Fox, right? So by them being an affiliate of Showtime and Fox, and Bud Crawford signed to him, it really shouldn't come as much of a surprise that Bud Crawford would do an interview with Bally Sports, Showtime, and Fox, right? Because he signed with their company. So just the idea that he's doing an interview with Showtime and Fox, just the idea that he's doing an interview isn't really an indication that the fight is done between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. It really don't mean much, right? So, again, two things to take away from that interview. It was done a few weeks ago, one. And two, just because it was done with Showtime, it don't necessarily mean the fight is about to get done, because Bud Crawford signed a contract with Bally Sports, which is an affiliate of Showtime and Fox, right? So him doing an interview with them really shouldn't come as much of a surprise, period. So those are the main things right there, right? Those are the main things. But we finna pull up the interview real quick. I want to go through a few things on the interview, and then after that, I'm going to drop the link. So everybody that's trying to come on, get ready. You know what I mean? We're going to listen to this interview. I'm going to drop the link, and then we can cook on this subject, you know what I mean? And get it really popping, you know what I mean? But hold on, here we go. Damn, I'm a little nasally right now, goddamn. Hold on, here we go. Share screen. And if y'all new to the channel, man, be sure to subscribe, man. Be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button one time for you, boy. All right, here we go.
For being the best fighter in the world today, Terence Bud Crawford. How you doing, man?
How you doing?
All right, so let's see. What's going on with you? Is there anything anyone's talking about fights you might have coming up? I can't think. Oh, right. Errol Spence, do you have any news as to how close that fight is?
Not really. Nothing's really, you know what I mean, set in stone or, you know, any dates or anything thus far. But we definitely working on that fight to happen.
Okay, so the first thing I need y'all to know is he said there's no real dates. And this is 2 weeks ago, so this might have changed. This might have changed. But he said there's no real dates. So where are these dates coming from? With the November and all this type of stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, all the clickbait is crazy online, bro. We done got a new date every other week about when this fight is actually going to happen. But according to Bud Crawford about 2-3 weeks ago, we don't have a date, you know? So maybe that's the part of the thing that's being discussed. But again, this interview is no clear indication that a fight is done between the two. Again, this was about 2-3 weeks ago. So we may be a lot closer now than we were 2-3 weeks ago when Bud Crawford was at the Hall of Fame conference. You know what I mean? But again, it's no clear indication that the fight is done according to this interview, at least so far. But let's keep listening.
What would that mean for you? Do you feel like this is the perfect time for that fight, that it really should happen now?
Yes, I do believe this is the perfect time, being that it's for all the marbles, it's for Undisputed, you know, so this is a big moment for not only myself, but for Errol Spence Jr. as well, to make, you know.
Now, let's stop it right here real quick. So we're going to make a real important point right here. So a lot of Errol Spence fans like to take this little part of the interview, right? And they like to kind of use this as ammunition in order to fuel their arguments on certain things, right? So a lot of them are going to say, see, look, Bud Crawford is saying that it's the perfect time. He's even saying that it's the perfect time, right? So that must mean that Bud believes that Earl's not ducking him. You know what I'm saying? None of that actually happened because clearly the both of them, they were both in cahoots to try to make sure that the fight happened at this time and it Undisputed and all these type of things. It was all for Undisputed. It was all a part of both of their plans. Earl was never ducking Bud. Bud was never ducking Earl. It was all a collaboration because Bud Crawford is saying that it's the perfect time, right? Bud Crawford is saying it. So two things I want to say in response to that, right? Two things I want to say. First of all, I'm a grown man, right? So just because another grown man want to tell me the sky is red, it doesn't mean that I'm going to believe the sky is red. You feel me? Just because another man says that pigs fly, it doesn't mean that I'm going to believe pigs fly. Why? Because I have my own two eyes, my own two ears to listen and hear and make my own observations based on the information that's presented to me. So with that said, the fact that Bud Crawford is saying now is the time, Errol Spence has never been ducking me, or whatever it is that he said in other interviews, the fact that he said that doesn't mean that it's true. It doesn't mean that it's facts. It doesn't mean that it's law. If anything, it would be Bud Crawford's opinion of the situation, right? And maybe you could say his opinion is a little more informed than my opinion, given that he's in the thick of it. However, even with that said, it's still an opinion, right? But the second thing that I want to add to that, the people that say that, right, is you could give me one or two interviews with Bud saying, Earl's not ducking me, or now's the time, right? Now's the perfect time with Undisputed. You can give me a few interviews with Bud Crawford saying that. But I can give you far more interviews with Bud saying, Errol Spence has been ducking me. Errol Spence has been ducking me. I'm looking for you, Earl. Where you at? I can give you far more interviews, far more information with Bud saying Earl is ducking than you can saying he's not ducking, right? So if you're going to quote Terence Crawford as a resource saying that he's not ducking, then I'm going to have to present the same information showing you that Earl was ducking, right? Now, how are we going to decide which one is more accurate? Because in my eyes, the more accurate source would be the one that was more consistent and the one that there's more proof of, rather than the one-off statement of Earl's not ducking me, or the one-off statement of now's the perfect time, right? So let's just make that real clear first and foremost, because I know a lot of Errol Spence fans like to run with that. I know a lot of Errol Spence fans like to take it and run with it real far, but you can't go too far, fam. Because if you're going to say that Bud said Earl wasn't ducking, if you're going to show me one interview where Bud said Earl wasn't ducking, well, I can show you about 10 other interviews where Bud said Earl was ducking, right? I can show you interviews where Earl said he was going to take the easy route. I could show you interviews where Earl said 60-40, 70-30, or whatever I give you, and then turn around and then say he was joking. I can give you far more interviews to prove what it is I'm saying than you can to prove what I'm not saying, right? My guy Terry Smoot Jr., #1 troll in the United States, has officially entered the building. He says the fanboyism is off the charts. Of course you would say something like that, Terry. Of course you would. You know, man. But let's keep it going. Let's keep listening to this interview. There's not much more. Then I'm going to drop the link. Whoever want to come on can come on, and we can go in. We can chop it all the way up. But let's keep it going.
History in his own right.
Last time we saw you, you had a great performance against Sean Porter. Last time we saw Errol, he had a great performance against Ordonez Lucas. What did you think of that performance of his?
Oh, he did great. You know, I thought he made the adjustments that he had to make to get the job done, and he won in tremendous fashion, and congratulations to him.
Tell me if you agree with this assessment.
So another point I want to make, right, in regards to this, because a lot of Errol Spence fans, a lot of them are going to want to use this, and they're going to want to say, you see, Errol can make adjustments, right? Errol can do this, and Errol can do that because Bud Crawford said it, right? That's what a lot of dudes are going to run with. I already know. I've seen it. You know what I mean? But again, going back to my earlier point, I'm a grown-ass man, right? And just because you tell me the sky is red, don't mean I'm going to believe the sky is red, because I got eyes and ears to see and hear. And I got information presented in front of me in order to prove what I believe is correct versus what another man tells me is correct, right? So that's the first thing. Because the overall narrative here is that Errol Spence doesn't make the adjustments. And the thing about it is, too, and let me just give my overall opinion before I even go any deeper on that. Errol Spence does make adjustments, but the adjustments that he makes are very small. Errol Spence makes minor adjustments, tweaks minor things in what he's doing in order to tailor a little bit more to his opponent. But he can't completely change what it is that he's doing. He can't fight you any differently than how he fights. Errol Spence is a pressure fighter. He can't turn around and box off his back foot. He can't turn around and pot shot you all night. He can't turn into a counter puncher, right? Because these are just not skills that Errol Spence possesses. He doesn't have the ability to fight these different ways, right? So when you're talking about versatility, those are things that Errol Spence lacks as far as the versatility part of it. But Errol Spence does have the ability to make minor adjustments. Again, I know a lot of Errol Spence fans are going to take that and they're going to run with it. Errol can make adjustments. Okay, he can make adjustments, but what kind of adjustments is he making? What kind of in-fight adjustments are Errol Spence making? Is he changing his game plan? Is he fighting differently? Are he doing these different things to opponents, giving these different looks to opponents in order to confuse them, in order to adapt to what it is that they're doing? When Errol Spence comes into a new fight, are we going to see a different Errol Spence than we saw last fight? We may see him a little slower, but we're not going to see him fighting differently. And that's the point that I wanted to make. Point blank, period. Okay. So, but let's continue with the interview. I think I got like maybe 30 more seconds. And then after that, I'm going to drop the link. Here we go.
You guys are obviously both elite fighters. He seems more like a guy who comes in with his plan A, and that's his plan, and that's the way he fights. Whereas you are more versatile and can shift plans and make adjustments. Would you say that that's accurate?
Well, I think he make adjustments as well. You know, when one thing don't work, he, adjusts and make, matters into his own, take matters into his own hands and make the right moves at the right time to get the job done. Like myself, I feel like, you got two great fighters in their prime, fighting for all the marbles. It's going to be an exciting fight. And I just can't wait for it to happen.
I want to ask you also about up-and-coming guy who fights on Showtime a lot, Jerome Boots Ennis, in your weight division.
Okay, so they're going to start talking about Boots, so we're going to stop it right here. But yes, he makes adjustments, but cannot completely change his style. You know what I mean? These are just things that we know. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to drop the link here. Anybody that want to come on can come on. Boom, there we go. There go the link. There go the link. Let me check the poll while we're waiting for people to come on, man. Let me check this poll. Okay, I got 27 votes right now. All right. By the way, I only got 11 likes, man. I'm going to need more of y'all to go on here, hit that goddamn like button one time for you, boy. Hit that like button one time for you, boy, man. Don't be stingy with the like button. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do me that. Don't do me that. Hit that like button one time for you, boy. But let's go back to the poll, man. We got what percentage do you think the fight is to being done, right? I got 7% of everybody that says the fight ain't happening. 0%. 7% of y'all say 0%. The fight ain't happening, right? I got 15% of y'all that says it's 50-50, right? It's 50-50. The fight is 50% done. It's 50% done. It's close, but it still got a ways to go. It's some things going on. We in the right direction, but we got a lot to hammer out. That's essentially what y'all saying, right? I got 52% of y'all that says the fight is 75% done. That means we almost done, baby. It's almost go time. We almost ready to announce a date. You know what I mean? That's what 75% mean. And 52% of y'all, which is the highest percent of y'all, say that that's what it is, right? And then I got 100% of y'all that say the fight is done. 100% of y'all say the fight is done. that these dudes are ready to get in the ring, and the only thing we waiting on is for an announcement. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's my spiel, man. We got a few people that done joined us here in the building, man. I'm gonna announce y'all one at a time. You know what I'm saying? So we got D Young that just done entered the building along with Aunt Mo. But D Young, man, what's going on with you, fam? Salute to you. Welcome to the panel. You know what I mean? What you got on your mind, fam?
What's good, King Dave? You hear me?
Yeah, bro. I hear you. Sound like you doing construction a little bit in the back, but I hear you.
Nah, hold on. I got.
Hey, D Young, I'm gonna mute you for right now. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna come right back to you, okay?
All right, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, somebody got some noise in the background. But nah, I was just gonna say, man, yo, you can hear me? I don't know if that's me or somebody else in that background.
Yeah. I think that's you, fam. Yeah,
that's you, famo.
I'll jump back in. I'll jump back in.
All right, no problem. All right, we're gonna move on. And Mo, what's going on with you, fam? How you doing?
What's up,
man?
my guy?
Problem?
Thank you, man. What's good?
Not much, man. Chilling, man. Talking some good boxing today, man. What's on your mind, fam? What's your thoughts on everything?
Well, let's go back to the beginning. 190K in pay-per-view buys versus 250K is not a small difference. And it's not to argue that it shouldn't be 50-50. Because when we talk about the purists, we're talking about people who really know boxing, who understand what this means for the boxing culture. But to just poo-poo 40 to 50K in buys, considering how hard it is to actually sell, that's an egregious overlooking of the facts. But the problem with this is not the fact that people can say, I'm pro Errol, pro Terence. That's not the problem. Mm-hmm. It's the above and beyond that we go to say, oh, he ducking. Oh, what he's saying ain't really what he's saying. And now we're second guessing what Terence is even saying as the guy who has to get in there and fight with this guy. He doesn't have to placate to him to say, oh, I believe he's got skill, or I believe he can make adjustments. Why can't we just take at face value what's being said? And how about this? The fact that people's minds may change, or sometimes the fact that somebody may say something just to bait you into making a decision that you may be on the fence about, or you may not even be thinking about at the time. Now, I'll be honest. If I was really looking at this fight, and I am at this point, I said at this point, pro Errol, I really am I looked at some film. Man, this is making me still go dig in the archives, go look at stuff. Man, it's hard not to look at that film and see that Terence, he just electric with the hands. It's you would be a fool not to notice that. So going into this, it would be like, okay, I could see that he could have a greater chance of stopping Errol than Errol would have of stopping him. Plus all of the tools he has and all of that. But as far as when we talk about paydays, Errol's put in a lot more work on pay-per-views, fam. Like, we gotta just keep it a buck on that. But to say that, and I'll tell you this, I was just thinking about this when I first started listening to the show. Mm-hmm. Given the fact that there's been car accidents and there's been eye injuries and all of this stuff that's supposed to have been said, Terence, you better go in there and you better make him look a certain way. Because if you don't, it's going to be a bigger knock to your legacy. Because everybody and they mama swear that Terence going to get in there and just wash Errol. Even though y'all have these little moments where y'all want to say y'all think it's going to be 50-50, a lot of the time y'all really, y'all just saying that because that's what y'all want to, y'all kind of want to fall into the mean with that. But y'all, it's like 80-20 of the boxing community that really thinks that Terence is going to watch Errol. So you better do that. Because if he wins, you need to go sit in the corner somewhere, fam, because you're not needed no more. Since he's so great and all of this, like, I don't think it's a knock to Errol's legacy. If he been ducking, okay, now we see why he been ducking. But if he go in there, and I ain't even saying it beat you in a crazy way, but if he just win, oh yeah, your legacy taking a hit, Terence. It's just like that.
Yo, King Dave, I'm back. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dion. Go ahead. You want to respond to what my man just said?
Oh yeah.
Actually, before you respond, just give your overall spiel, man, and then I'm gonna open it up and we can go in and go back and forth.
Okay.
And I wanted to give him a chance to give his opening statements and everything like that, and then do the same thing with you. But go ahead, D.
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you letting me on, man. But yeah, I think I was optimistic on it, man. But being that we hearing good things about the fight, I think it's gonna happen, man. I'm 75% with it with you. So yeah, I think it's gonna happen, man. But salute to you, Aunt Mo, man. I like your points, man. You had some good points, but far as him, if he lose to EJ, man, it'll be a knock on his legacy. Because the thing of it is, bro, it's a nigga like me. I feel Spence is great. You know what I mean? No matter how you slice the cake, you know what I mean? He great. And it's like Crawford said, I don't want to fight you as soon as you come off the car. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with his legacy gonna take a hit. That's not true, bro. Because if we saying this is for all the marbles and this is the two best guys, you know what I mean? Shit, it shouldn't be that way.
Can I say this too?
Go ahead, fam.
Let's just be honest. Any fighter, especially guys of their caliber, who are closer to being at the end of their prime than they are to the beginning of it, is looking for the biggest payday possible. That's why we were seeing both of these guys try to go out to Manny Pacquiao, which is why we seen these guys take a lot of the fights that they actually took. Because I heard somebody make an argument on a different show that Ryan Garcia versus Devontae Tank Davis would be a bigger fight than Errol Spence and Crawford. And I think that's the dumbest thing I've heard, because we all know that fight with Tank would be the casuals. Yeah, of course it's going to be big for the casuals, for the people that don't understand boxing, but for the people who do know boxing, that's the biggest fight that we would want to see. But the reality is, if we trying to pull in a lot more of those dollars from people that actually know and love the sport, they not looking for Errol versus Terence. Not because, and I know we've argued this before last time, but Errol has a slightly bigger name when it comes to the cachet of being a superstar, selling out the stadium, et cetera, et cetera. You can poo-poo that, but not everybody can do it. You got to be of the likes of him or Canelo. So money plays a big factor in this.
Salute the beige and C's in the motherfucking building. Salute to y'all coming through. Go ahead, fam.
Now, I know some people could try to argue like, oh, he don't want to take this fight based on the merits of he just got off a car accident. But I mean, come on, man. Like, he was fine. I mean, now don't get me wrong, he wasn't 1,000%.
One thing, Mo, but you can't say that though. And just think of this, bro. He beat Spence straight off a car accident. What's gonna be the excuse, bro?
I think that's valid to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, that car accident ain't gonna always be hanging over his head, because some people think that Spence ain't gonna never be the same, that he's not the same caliber fighter. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be a knock one way or another. I get that you might want to give him some time to recuperate, and to me, he made quick work of Danny, so that was cool. But it's
and Ugas.
Well, but he's years removed from the accident at that point, so that's why I'm saying, at the end of the day, it's still gonna be there. Somebody was arguing last time that I was on the show, was like, oh, if he beat him, they still gonna say it's the car accident. So we gotta remove all of that stuff and just say, at the end of the day, put these guys in front of each other and what's gonna happen. Truthfully, I'm of the ilk that I don't think we really know until they get in there. But if somebody is gonna pick one, I'm cool with it. Pick one. Pick Errol. Pick Terence. I'm not mad at that. But let's not discredit this dude. I'm.
So hold on. I want to be clear though, Mo. So what part of what I said do you think is discrediting Errol Spence?
The whole argument.
Okay. Give me something specific though, so I could rebuttal that specifically what it is you're talking about. Go ahead. You cut out for a second. You still cut out. I can't hear you, Mo.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. It was the basis on how we started the whole conversation.
Okay.
Was about how dang, what did you say about how did you start at the very beginning? My bad.
I started out talking about how I was very weary and wishy-washy on whether or not the fight was going to happen in the first place due to Errol Spence ducking for the last 4 years. So that's how I started it out.
Yeah, I forgot. It was something else you said. My bad. But it was the whole basis of the argument for me that I disagreed with, and I can't remember what you said at this point. But
so hold on. So before we move past that part, because I can go through which part I was talking about. Do you agree or not that Errol Spence has been ducking for the last 4 years?
I disagree.
Okay, why do you disagree?
Because I don't think. Okay, going into this, is what I was gonna say. Now I know this may not mean nothing to other people. Like we do all things considered until it's not working in our favor, right? So the same cat who got in there and got and gave the pats to Mayweather that went in there and said cut the clock on, and Cash, I don't know if Cash is still in here, but Cash tried to even discredit that, trying to say that Mayweather was washed up and over the hill at that point. But this is the same guy who didn't let him dictate and say whatever he wanted to him, which would be, of course, not the knockout power that he had because of the problems with his hands, and plus he was a little bit older at that point. The same guy who got in there with the GOAT and dictated what he wanted to that guy. I just don't see somebody with that type of mentality, because stuff like that we don't hear about every day. That's the type of stuff.
Okay, so I mean,
go ahead.
I think he dropped out, bro.
Who?
I think King Dave. I think King Dave had dropped out.
Oh snap!
Yeah, because I ain't see him on my thing. But to rebuttal what you saying,
man,
bro.
I got kicked out of my own thing. Go. Yeah, let me respond to him real quick, Dion. So the thing about that, man, is that sparring. You know, at the end of the day, like, you know, what you talking about is all well and good. Okay, he did well with Floyd Mayweather, but I mean, at the end of the day, the receipts that I provide as far as why he was ducking has nothing to do with sparring. You know, maybe you talking about his mentality and of him being a dog. Okay, maybe Earl's a dog. I'm not saying he's not a dog, but I am saying that he's been ducking for the last 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think we talking about apples and oranges at this point. You talking about a sparring session, but a sparring session ain't got nothing to do with all the evidence that supports the fact that he's been ducking for the last 4 years. But go ahead, Ammo. You want to rebuttal that? You still there, Ammo? Okay, it got kind of quiet on me. Let me read some of these comments right here while we're waiting on Ammo to get back right. My guy Boxing Hog is in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, Boxing Hog 28. He say, my guy, how are you, family? Big love to my guy. You know what I mean? Salute to you, fam.
Yeah.
D Young a little while ago said subtle adjustments. D Young also say he's a chameleon in there. Spence, yes, sir. My guy Babe says this get back in his car from the dog park. Talking about you, D Young. Yeah, my guy C's in the building with a straight face. You know what I mean? Levi Anthony said Earl's the truth. Nobody at 147 beats him. All the others are nice too. Really? Is that right? Well, we gonna see soon. I'm thinking we gonna see real soon, Levi Anthony. And then Levi Anthony said he about to cap and not speaking in specifics. You know what I mean? right. My guy Babe says he ain't cut off. He trying to buy himself some time. Y'all over here talking cash money shit out here. Levi Anthony say he about to act like he doesn't remember, but claims you hating, right? Okay, my guy Guillermo Maldonado says Earl ain't ducking, dude. He explained from the beginning that he was going to clean up his side of the street and get himself to see and then see Crawford. But he got a thing to the people who say that, right? That's not what he said, dog. That's not what he said from the beginning, fam. He probably said that, but he said that like 2-3 years into him ducking, fam. The first thing he said was Terence Crawford got to get a belt first. I don't know why dudes try to negate that and try to act like it didn't happen, but it did happen. You know what I mean? So that's all it is. My guy Guillermo Maldonado says he ain't ducking. Years ago, he said he was going to get them other belts. You haven't been paying attention. He said that years ago, but again, the first thing he said was Terence Crawford got to get a belt first. Right? He didn't say nothing about I got to get the other belt. He said Terence Crawford got to get a belt first, then we can fight. Hey, somebody got to move the audio.
That's Mo.
That's you, Mo. Got dogs.
Yeah, my bad, dog. I'm at work. Mailman, they got these dogs.
Hey, well, do me a favor, man. Mute when you're not talking. That way, you know what I'm saying. We won't get no
Yes, sir.
residual
My bad.
noise.
My bad.
That's all good, fam.
But listen. Okay, this is what it was. When you said you feel Errol is backed into a corner, like he has no other option, right? Let's just be honest. Who else do they have left to fight? Because Thurman is dang near washed. And Boots, neither one of them want to fight Boots. If you want to keep it a stack, neither one of them.
Hold on, but I already told you that Bud already said if he can't get the Earl fight, he's trying to move up and fight Jamel. That's an option that Earl don't have. You know what I mean? But go ahead, what you were saying.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool, but listen. Okay, let me ask you this. When you look at Boots, is he to the caliber that he already ready to step in there with them guys?
Yes,
Yeah,
bro.
he is.
I'm not gonna cap on that, bro. With the eye test show, even though we hadn't seen him against a guy who can really test him, bro, from the eye test, bro. I mean, just look at this, bro. He got the same amount of fights as Earl, bro. He 10 fights under 10. So
I'm saying, who you want to test him with?
Huh?
Who you want to test Boots with? Who does Boots have to fight to get the shot then? If Boots ain't ready.
Hold on, AB. Hold on, AB. Hold on 1 second, D Young. Hold on. I gotta make sure I bring my guy AB on here properly. You know, that's my guy right there. You know what I mean? So let me let him cook. We're gonna take a little break from what we talking about, fam. I'm gonna bring my boy AB on, and we're gonna get back to it with an open panel though. But AB, man, what's going on with you, fam? Salute to you. What's on your mind, man? Tell me what's going on.
Salute King David. Salute panel. How y'all fellas doing today?
What up, baby?
Hey, I'm out here chilling, trying to avoid these bees. I'm at work myself, you know, trying to clear restriction on this AC system, but we ain't talking about that though. Like the guy was saying, like the gentleman was saying, he was saying something about to the extent that Boots ain't ready. I mean, who else does Boots have to fight to be ready? Like y'all saying, Thurman washed. I mean, what besides Bud and Earl, who else is there? Ugas now. Manny retired. I mean, who else is there? Danny Garcia, Jose Benavidez Jr. Nobody. So, I mean, he is ready, I guess, because that's the next step for him. Now, as far as Errol Spence goes, I'm trying to tell you, King David, the dude is not backed into a corner. There is no pressure on this dude to fight Terence Bud Crawford. His fanboys ain't gonna give him no pressure. They ain't saying nothing yet. I ain't heard too many people say anything negative about Errol Spence besides folks that like boxing or folks that are pro Terence Bud Crawford. Other than that, if they Errol Spence fans, well, you know, Earl got to do this. Earl got to do that. He trying to build up the fight. I don't want to hear. I'm tired of hearing all this bullshit. It's been 5 years. Bud about to be 36 years fucking old. 36 years old. He was trying to get this fight when he was 32. So I mean, like I said, ain't no pressure on him to fight Bud. He not gonna fight Bud. Ain't no pressure for Jamel Charlo not to fight Bud. They ain't gonna feel it until after they retire. That's when the fans gonna say, well, why didn't you fight Bud Crawford? The same fans are gonna ask him why you fight Bud Crawford 10, 15 years from now. The same motherfuckers that's upholding this bullshit.
Boy, y'all really hate Spence, boy.
No, I ain't no hate. I'm just saying, why you
hate that dude, bro?
I want to hear though. I want to hear why you say we hate.
I don't hate sir. Like I said, it's been 5
okay, I'll tell you why.
Years.
I'll tell you why.
It's been before you start explaining for him, like all Errol Spence fans do.
No, he asked me.
My guy. We gonna keep the facts. You a hit dog holler, my guy. A hit dog will holler.
Nah. I'm cool. I'm cool. I just think it's funny.
Like I'm trying to say, this dude keep getting excuse after excuse after excuse, and when people call him on this bullshit, people come out and say, "Well, why y'all hating on Earl? Why can't we just tell the truth? When has the truth been hate? The truth only been hate for all these new weak ass niggas. Well, man, you telling the truth on him, man, you hate. Nah, I'm speaking facts, bro. It's been this dude, Bud, about to be 36 years old. Fact. Bud been trying to get this dude in the ring since he was 2 years old.
Hey, yo, AB, let me just try.
Y'all keep talking about Bob Arum ain't there no more. This dude a free fucking agent. If they can send $50 million to Canelo Alvarez for Errol Spence to go 2 fucking weight classes, why the fuck can we fight a dude that's coming up for 135 in his own weight class? But nobody ain't got no answer for that shit. They just gonna say you hating on Errol Spence.
Okay, so can I talk now?
Go ahead. Yes, you can. Go ahead and explain for him. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Now, thank you, because you're a lot angry. And
No,
you probably need to take
you
a chill
heard.
pill. Hold on. You had your time, man. You had your
This
time.
how men talk, my guy. This my tone, my guy. I'm not. This my tone, my guy. If you
let me talk.
This how men talk. Let me talk. This how men talk, bro. You ain't finna put no anger on me. I'm at work. Just because you hurt in your feelings, like my woman being her feelings. When I talk, why you gotta talk to me, baby? I'm a man. This how I talk. I'm not gonna be all soft on you. Yeah,
Damn,
you good.
I'm good. You bitter. You're bitter. We talking about boxing. We don't know these men. You know that, right?
I get no money either way from any one of these dudes. These dudes don't support my
we don't know
family.
these dudes, bro.
I
don't have a crazy allegiance to neither one of these guys.
I'm just on here because my guy on here. I just came to show respect to my guy because he got a fine ass show and he let me speak my mind. That's all I came here for.
Absolutely.
Ain't cyber bullshit bitch talk. Give me some facts. Don't talk about your feelings hurt. Give me some facts about the fucking fight. Give me some facts about the event. That's what I'm saying.
You just said, didn't you?
I got you facts, bro. I said, hello.
That's what you just said. You just said how we got feelings and how we feel some way because you yelling.
Oh my God. It's Terence Crawford about to be 36.
You still going?
About to be 36.
You still going?
It's Bud. You said I'm talking about feelings. I'm giving you facts. Don't do this like grown men. We can go question by question. It's Bud about to be 36.
We going by grown men. When you gonna let me talk?
Yeah, I'm asking you a grown question, bro.
He finna be 35, yo.
You stated your case, fam.
He about to be 35.
Can we move on?
Yeah, he about to be 35.
Okay.
35.
Correct. He's about to be 35.
One thing before you go, Aunt Mo, how I can just say this, bro. You know what I mean? I understand you feel Spence got dog in him. I feel he got it in him too, bro. But just for a person who got two eyes, bro, you could just tell, man, that bro, they ducked him and it's part of their plan. But it's still a duck, no matter how y'all slice that shit, bro. You that's like me. That's like, hey, look, hold on. I'm gonna give y'all an analogy. I don't know if all y'all play Madden. That's like me saying, all right, King David the best at Madden. All right, and I tell King Dave,
which I am. But go ahead.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna have to get up on it, King Dave.
All day.
But look, hold on. Look, let me make this point. That's like me saying, all right, King Dave the best at Madden. I'm talking my shit. Hey, King Dave, I'm gonna bust your ass in Madden, but I'm gonna play AB first, and I'm gonna play Ant Mo, and then I'm gonna play Bold. You feel me? Yeah, and then I'm gonna catch you last. That, you know what I mean? That shit just don't sit well with real fight fans, bro. No matter how you slice that shit. But nonetheless, we here. Let's get this shit.
And Mo done fell off, man. I don't know. Probably lost connection. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I really wanted to hear Aunt Mo. I really wanted to hear him explain why he feels like we hating on Errol Spence. Like I really want to understand it.
He gonna say the same thing.
I already know. I like to back him into a corner though, AB. You know how that is. I like to back him into a corner, you know. So I really wanted to hear why he feel like we hating on Errol Spence. That's what I want to hear. You
got better things to do with your time, my G, than to waste it on some bullshit like that. but that's how you like to get your rocks off. I'm not gonna. Hey, we all got our vices.
Hey, Levi Anthony, is this Terry Smoot, bro? You sound like Terry Smoot, man. I'm looking at these comments. I'm like, kind of look like Terry Smoot. You talking about Bud Age like that? Matter Bud's ducked Errol for 4 years straight. He ducked Errol Spence for 4 years straight. Come on, man.
See those type of guys, they don't be hitting the link, and you don't get those too much guys too much flack, man. They don't be hitting the link. Come explain that shit. How did
they gotta hit the link? They just, when they say stupid shit like that, you already know.
Hey, Levi Anthony, bro, you can come on. You come on and speak your truth. You say Bud ducking Earl. I really want to hear how you come up with that.
I don't understand why these dudes. It's like these dudes are fans of men. They not fans of the sport. Because if you fans of the sport, you see with your own two eyes what the fuck has been going on.
He say Bud ducking Earl. I really gotta hear what he got to say.
He has to join the corner, King.
Yeah, he has to. I dropped the link for him. So come on, Anthony, go ahead, man. Tell me what it is, man. Explain that to me, bro. I really want to hear how Bud been ducking Earl for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So and we're gonna let people talk on here because I want to understand. You know what I'm saying? But we done got somebody new joined us on the panel. My guy Knockout Boxing 86 TV. Salute to you, family. What's going on? What's on your mind?
What's up with you, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, bro. You know, talking some good boxing today, man. What's up with you? And by the way, y'all be sure to subscribe to Knockout Boxing 86 TV, man. Drop some good content over there. But go ahead, fam.
Oh nah, bro. I just want to hop up, man, and you know, what we were talking about when you first started your show and shit. I was gonna chop it up with that, but I think you was asking the other brother. He was talking about Bud, Duck, and Earl. I want to hear that.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I want to hear about Anthony. What he talking about?
Okay, real quick. I ain't gonna disturb your panel, and I ain't gonna start no shit. But our gentries, man, when you gonna pay me my money, bro?
I can come to Dallas and pay it to you if that's what you came over here for. I can come to Dallas and pay it to you because I want to see your bitch ass face to face anyway. Because I don't like hoes.
Oh, okay.
We on? Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you can drop that address. I can come give it to you in your hand.
So hold on, y'all. Hold on. We done got Levi Anthony that done came on to the podcast. So now we gotta hear what Levi Anthony gotta say, because you say Bud been ducking Earl for 4 years. So if you could please explain that to me, good sir.
All right, I can elaborate on that. I ain't come on here. We ain't gonna do no hating. I don't hate or whatever. I just go. I go where the facts take me. So check this out. When Bud was undisputed, you know, at 140 and whatnot. When he moved up to 146, well, Bud made a claim, right? He said, "I've been calling those guys out since before I moved to 47. I've been calling those guys out, like basically Errol Spence and all that." Really, he was calling out Thurman and Pacquiao. He wasn't calling for Errol. Okay, and here we go. So when he moved up to 47, he could have became the IBF mandatory to Errol Spence, but he didn't. He went the Jeff Horn route. So if he could have done that, is what I'm saying. Like he had all 4 belts at 140, meaning he could have been the IBF. He could have moved up and challenged all 4 any one of the 4 sanctioning bodies. He didn't do that. So if he say he's been calling for Errol Spence, why didn't he just become his mandatory? That's a duck.
Would you like me to explain that to you, fam?
No. You can explain to me. I'm just saying the facts are he didn't take that route. And he could have if he was so called. What I'm saying is if he was so called.
Hold on, D-Young. Let him finish.
You know, all I'm saying is if he was so called, if he wanted that man, he could have just easily. He was undisputed champion. He could have easily moved up and became his IBF mandatory. Simple, but he didn't.
Go ahead, D-Young. Go ahead.
Okay, so you saying he could have jumped and been his IBF mandatory?
No, the rules say that, not me. The rules.
Okay, you guys, I get you on that. So you think Errol Spence would have fought him as his mandatory? You really think that in your heart?
It's not about what I think he could have done. If he would have came as mandatory, it was a mandatory. It's not about what I think. It's not about what I think.
The politics wasn't gonna let that happen.
Say that again.
Hold on.
Tell him to repeat the question.
You still there, D-Young? D-Young, you still there? D-Young done tapped out.
The facts are, it's not about my opinion and it's not about what I think. We're going to leave all of what I think and all of my opinions aside. I go with the facts say. The facts say he could have done that. The rules say Bud could have moved up and could have challenged any 4 of the sanctioning bodies because he was undisputed. He had all 4 belts at 140. So he could have been, if he had been, all I'm saying is if he had been calling for Errol Spence like he wanted, all he had to do, just like he went and fought Jeff Horn, he chose to. That was a choice.
Okay. Let me get him real quick. So you say you like dealing with the facts, so I'm gonna give you the facts here, right? So first thing you need to know is that at the time Bud was undisputed, after he had became undisputed, if you recall correctly, he actually dropped the IBF belt because the IBF actually were trying to force him to fight Sergey Lipinets. So he actually didn't even have the IBF belt to even go the IBF route, right? That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is you're talking about the rules, right? Now, the only sanctioning body that has rules where you can go up, move up in weight and challenge the champion right away is the WBO. All the other sanctioning bodies, it is.
Now, that's not true. I
It
know
is.
how you like that.
You could be.
Y'all
It is.
like to keep saying that's not true.
Hold on. Let me
But go ahead.
let me
Go
finish what I'm saying. It is true. The other sanctioning
That is not
bodies,
true at all. I've read the rule book.
Let
That's
him
not
finish.
true.
Hold
But go
on.
ahead.
The other sanctioning bodies allow it where you can move up and be placed in the top 5, right? But they do not allow for you to become a mandatory right away. Those are two different things. Okay, because if you're placed in the top 5, you still have to fight your way up to a number 1 or mandatory spot. Meaning Bud would have had probably at least 1 or 2 fights before he can challenge the guy for the belt. Now, let me bring you here for a second. If you recall correctly, Jeff Horn had that belt, right? There's videos out there with Errol Spence challenging Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn, I want that fight, right? You recall those interviews with Errol Spence calling out Jeff Horn? We can make the fight happen? Or do I got to pull videos and stuff? You
can pull some videos because I remember Bud fans hating on Errol for calling. First off, Errol said he wanted anybody who had the WBO belt. So if you had it, he wanted to fight you, basically.
Okay,
and then a lot of y'all like to say that Errol told Bud to go get a belt. That wasn't Errol who did that. That was Thurman.
Did say that.
That was Thurman who said that.
Hold on. Before we take the conversation,
I'm just saying. I don't want. We can stay. No, let's stay on topic. We're gonna stay on topic. Go ahead.
I see you going somewhere else, but
no. We're gonna stay on topic. Go ahead. Okay. I just had to get that one straight.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So the only sanctioning body has it where you could be. So if you recall correctly, okay, Errol Spence had it where he was trying to fight Jeff Horn. If he would have fought Jeff Horn, or Keith Thurman would have fought Jeff Horn, or any of those other guys would have fought Jeff Horn, they would have became undisputed, right? And then they would have left the division. Earl already said he only got 2 fights at 147 pounds.
Hold on. If they would have fought Jeff Horn at that time, they would have. Who would have became undisputed?
Any of those, Earl probably would have been undisputed.
How would he have been undisputed if all he had was the IBF?
You don't think he would have fought Jeff Horn for that?
It's not about what I think. See, you get what I'm saying? You guys keep doing that. Y'all keep referring to what I think or not. It's not about that. It's not about what I think.
But he called out Jeff Horn, and I'm going to play you the video. He called.
If he fought Jeff Horn, all he would have had was the WBO.
Don't play that, King. Don't play that, King.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Levi,
all he had was the IBF belt.
If
he would have fought Jeff Horn, all he would have had the WBO and the IBF. That's not undisputed. That's unified.
So you don't think he would have been undisputed by now if he would have fought Jeff Horn?
If he would have took that belt, then Bud wouldn't have had it. Then yeah, by now he would have by now, yes, he would have been undisputed. If he would have took that belt, if he would have had the WBO by now, yeah, he would have undisputed.
Okay, so if Errol Spence was,
but that's not what happened.
If Errol Spence was undisputed before Terence Crawford fight, do you think he would have fought Terence Crawford?
See, you keep going. We playing hypothetics. Why
no. It ain't no hypothetics.
That's a hypothetical question. Do you think if those are hypothetical?
No, he wouldn't fight Terence Crawford if Terence Crawford had became undisputed before Earl was, became a champion or became on his radar. He wouldn't have fought Earl.
I'm saying, what point are you trying to make? Because
if Earl fought Jeff Horn, if Earl would have fought Jeff Horn and basically boxed Bud out, then yeah, bro, he would have went and got Sean Porter belt. Then he would have went and got Ugas belt.
And I've already said by now, yes, he would have been undisputed.
It's hypothetical though. Who cares?
Knockout.
It's hypothetical. Wait. But this goes back to my point. It's hypothetical because that's the reason Bud went the WBO route.
No, that's not. That doesn't make sense.
Real quick,
make sense.
That's a part
real quick, Levi. I want to because I'm an Errol Spence fan and a Bud fan, but I side with Earl because I'm from DeSoto, Texas, bro. I'm from Dallas, Texas all day. But bro, in the sanctioning bodies, you can petition in the WBC, the IBF, and the WBA. You can petition if you're a champion, and petition to move up, but they have to grant your petition. It's not automatically embedded in their rules like it is in the WBO, where you move up and as a champion, you get to automatically fight the other champion.
Okay. And the longer with
the point I'm making to your point, you can petition though, and they would automatically.
And if Bud was chasing,
like they did with Danny Garcia, when
Danny Garcia was chasing Earl,
they made him number 1 in the WBC because he was champion in the WBC at 140, but he didn't have to become the mandatory. The WBC just chose to do that. So they can't choose to do that.
But that's what I'm saying, Knockout. That's what I'm saying, Knockout. All I'm saying is if he was chasing Earl like he and his fans claim, why didn't he petition? Why not just petition?
Because you know
Now
why
that is a valid question. You know what I'm saying? But to say that he could
Can
just
I
be
answer
the
that?
mandatory, that's not true. My bad, D Young. I don't mean to keep
Hey,
cutting you off, bro. Go ahead.
yeah. And I was just gonna ask you this question, bro. So what if Bud went the WBO route? Do you think he would have got that fight with Errol Spence for that IBF belt?
He did go to WBO out, so I don't understand the question.
Not off the bat. Listen, man, like this notion that it's not a business in boxing, like Top Rank is not gonna put Bud in a position to where if they can make Bud a champion by giving him an in-house fight, they're gonna do that shit. The same with the PBC. If they can make Earl a champion by doing some in-house shit, they're gonna do that shit, bro. Like
So,
that, it is what it is with that.
Exactly.
The smart thing for Bud to do is to, okay, I got Jeff Horn as a champion. He signed the Top Rank. Or I got all these other champions that are PBC fighters. What's Bob Arum want to do? He want to make money. He want to keep bread. He want to keep his paper. So what he going to do? He going to make the in-house fight to make Terence a champion at 147 pounds. The difference is that when he does that and when Bo Mac comes out later and says, look, we went to WBO because it's easier.
Right.
I know that means you did that shit because that's the easiest fight to make. Where I lose it with Terence, where I lose it with Terence Crawford fans sometimes is where Earl says the exact same thing, and we all know he did it for the exact same reasons. But all of a sudden, when he say he went the easier route, y'all act like that shit means something different. When we all know that it basically means I'm taking these fights that's easier to make. That's what Earl meant when he said it.
Exactly.
That's what Oak meant when he said the shit about Terence Crawford.
Hold on. Wait a second.
That's what he meant.
Hold on a second. Wait a second. We can take it that direction, but before we do that, let's go back to you though, fam. What's your name again? I'm sorry. Hold on.
That's Levi. That's Levi, bro.
Let's go back to you, fam, because you made a statement saying Bud has been ducking for the last 4 years, right?
And I said why.
You said why, but based on the facts that have been presented to you, because we presented facts to you, fam. I ain't.
And I presented facts myself. So don't leave that part out though.
No, you didn't. You came.
Don't do that.
You didn't come with factual information. You said
I did.
You said Bud could have went the IBF route, but he didn't have the IBF.
The fact of the matter is, you Bud fans say that he's been chasing and calling Errol out since before he got to 140, and he wasn't. That's a fact.
Hold on. You're deflecting again, bro. You said that Bud has been ducking for 4 years. Yes or no?
Yeah, that's what I call ducking. If you've been chasing Errol, but you didn't petition for the IBF, to become mandatory, then you can't. Then that's ducking.
One don't have nothing to do with the other, fam.
Yes, they do. One, they both coincide.
No, it don't. You said Bud has been ducking Earl for the last 4 years. That's what you said.
If Bud became the IBF mandatory or petitioned for it and fought Errol Spence, right? I wouldn't be able to say that he's ducking. Or I can't say that, oh, he's not chasing him, because they would have fought, wouldn't they?
I don't want to be in the middle, but this is what I think, bro. Like I kind of agree with King David and I agree with Levi, and here's how I agree with both of y'all, bro. I think the word Bud ducking Earl, I don't believe that. I don't believe either of these fighters are ducking each other. What I will say, Levi, to your
point, fine. I believe it though, but that's fine.
What I will say to your point though, where I can see where you coming from is this notion that Bud just been chasing Earl.
Yeah,
like he's been chasing Earl and shit. That shit false, bro.
That shit.
That's where. Hold on, though.
That's where I'm
at. But here's the thing, though. We can get to that because that has to do with Earl ducking Bud for 4 years. We can get to that. But before we get to that, we got to make it past this whole part where you say Bud been ducking Earl. See, because
we already talked about it. You want to stay on it, and see and I see what you're doing. You want to just continue.
You ain't gonna change your mind, bro.
we've already discussed it. I've given you my reason, and you've discussed what you discussed, and you've given me your reasons. Let's move forward. I feel the way I feel, and you
said the way you.
And what you're saying, listen, what you're saying is facts.
You feel the way you feel, not based on no facts. You feel the way you
feel.
But
what I'm saying is facts. You just don't want to take it for that.
But that's the thing. It's not facts, though, fam. It ain't.
All
facts.
right. So let's move forward. If you feel like if that's how you feel, they ain't facts. Let's move forward. Where we going to?
I got a question.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So, and my bad, my phone overheated earlier. I wasn't running, but so we always heard talks about these guys where they sent offers and proposals over.
have we at any point during this whole rivalry and build up, has anybody officially extended an offer? No.
Not until now.
No. And so my thing about that is it's kind of hard to say either way that anybody has been ducking somebody when somebody ain't put the money where the mouth was to at least put a proposal.
Well, to
it's all
answer that,
speculation.
there has been an offer of 60-40, yes, but not any concrete.
You saw the contract, Mr. Fact?
Hold on, no contracts. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish though. You don't send a contract. Well, Bud said no to 60-40, so you don't draw up a contract and send that over that has 60-40 on it to a person that's saying no. It won't make sense. It costs money to draw up a contract. So if you're already saying no to the verbal offer, if you're already not agreeing to the verbal offer of 60-40, why draw up a legally binding contract and send that over? This is what you Bud fans don't know. You don't understand the business part about it.
Was a term?
You just want to see the fight.
Was a term sheet sent over?
A term sheet. Listen, why send over? Wait, hold on. I'm answering your question. Why send that over if the man's saying no?
What do you mean? Why send that up over if the man is saying?
The man is saying. Did Bud say no to 60-40?
What did you say earlier?
Hold on. Wait. Did Bud say no to 60-40? That Errol clearly said out his mouth, and we all seen the fucking video. Did Bud say no to that?
Well, he's done tons of those though. So
listen,
that's
did
why.
Bud say no to that?
Where?
Yeah, Did Bud say no to that?
He said
Did
no to
Bud
that. What he
say
asking,
no to
what
that?
he asking Levi is a term sheet that shit can be edited. So
yeah,
basically, what he trying
not
to,
when
what
the
he
people
trying to
already
say
know.
Is,
We
did
already
he send
know.
over the 60-40 so Bud could say no and send back what he asking?
Exactly.
Nobody sent shit, y'all. Nobody sent shit.
There hasn't been.
Well, we know nobody sent it, but what I'm
That's
saying
my
is,
point,
why
though.
send it? Why send something like that when Bud came out on YouTube, plenty of YouTube videos saying that fight is past me. That fight would never happen. Errol, I'm not interested in Errol saying things like that or saying.
Do you know what it means to negotiate?
Listen, I know how negotiation works, but that's not how you negotiate.
Okay. What do you mean that's not how you negotiate? If you
saying the fight is past me, saying the fight would never happen, that's negotiation.
Okay, see now you changing the subject.
I'm not gonna change nothing. The point I was making was Bud said no to 60-40. He said if it's not 60-40 or it's not 50-50 or 60-40 in my favor, no fight. That's not negotiation. That's an ultimatum.
Okay, so you
I know what an ultimatum is, right? Do we all on the panel know what an ultimatum is?
Okay,
correct?
So clearly you're leaving things out. Clearly.
I'm not leaving shit out. That's exactly what he said. He said if it's not 50-50 or 60-40 in my favor, no fight. That's an ultimatum. I didn't leave anything out.
Okay, but what about all the conversations that took place before that?
You don't want to see. Look, now you're doing that thing before that. Bud said this shit, bro. That's an ultimatum.
Okay,
you just said Bud was negotiating.
Okay, but bro,
you said Bud was negotiating.
You picking and choosing which little things that you want to insert.
No, I'm not. You said Bud was You said Bud was negotiating.
No, you giving half. You
giving no. You said Bud was negotiating. That's not a negotiating.
He's leaving out a lot, bro.
I'm not leaving out shit. You said Bud was negotiating.
No. I said what it means to negotiate. That's what I said.
What does it mean?
So now, what do you mean? What is it? You want me to define it for you?
I want you to explain to me what you feel like negotiating means to you.
Negotiation is a back and forth exchange between two parties in order to reach an agreement.
Duh.
So if you send me an offer, fam, and I don't like the offer, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna negotiate in order to get the offer the way I want it to get. Yes or no?
And what does Bud want?
What does Bud want?
What does Bud want? You heard the question. What does Bud want?
Come on, okay, but you trying to negotiate, fam. What the hell?
What does he want? You tell me what he wants.
They negotiating right now, bro. Everything else they was doing, they were just trying to big boy each other, bro. Like
exactly.
Exactly.
That's what we gonna go with.
Yes.
We gonna go with that.
A lot of the times, that stuff that's put out there is to actually start or push the conversation forward. Because we all know, like you said, if there was nothing ever put out there, there was no real contract talks going on. A lot of the times, that's to spark this. And at the end of the day, bro, like Errol ain't been ducking Bud for no 4 years. They never really went into negotiations. They in negotiations right now. We about to get the fight. Like I want to talk about I want to talk about why.
Man, he ducked him for 4 years, bro.
Errol
Knock it
ducked
off, knockout.
nobody.
I
Errol
mean,
never ducked a soul.
listen, bro, he ain't ducked
Oh,
no for no 4
he
years.
ducked him for 4 years, bro.
Okay,
All
so
right,
if
so explain to me why the fighter you listen, bro. This is like, let's just kill it with this, bro. Until you can explain to me why the fighter that you saying is being ducked is telling you that the dude you saying ducking him ain't ducking him. Until you can explain that question with a real answer, bro.
Until
Let's
you
just move
explain to
on,
me,
fam.
until you explain to me why this man went on First Take and said, oh, once you get that belt, we could fight. And then that fight never happened. Until you explain to me when Crawford approached that dude and then that motherfuckers try to fight everybody else but
Crawford approach
Crawford.
you. Crawford approach you where?
Until you come to me when all of a sudden in the near the middle of 2019, that's when Spence came up with this imaginary plan that y'all run with. Oh, Spencer, he gonna collect all his belts on the side of the street first, even though Bud approached that dude like a year before. Until you explain to me,
He approached him.
when this motherfucker started
Hold on, where
trying to
did he approach
negotiate,
Earl at, bro?
Who went-
Where did he approach Earl at?
Oh, okay, so I guess Earl, Bud Crawford never approached Errol Spence, right?
Where did he approach him at?
Like that shit
You mean the
video, like the
Maurice
video,
Hooker fight, right? You mean the Maurice Hooker fight?
Hey, King David.
You mean the Maurice Hooker?
In your intro, right?
Right.
Then you play the meeting they had.
Yeah. Why don't I go knock out Sean Porter? Why don't I?
So we talking about the Maurice Hooker fight. Then that's what we talking about, right?
Whatever fight it was, yeah.
Oh, okay. So what you saying
But I'm
is you saying that Bud approached Earl at a fight where he had business there. He was already there because Maurice Hooker is in his camp, but Earl the one that came to the fight to see Bud. But Bud was approaching Earl. That what you talking about?
But now I'm talking about when they came face to face.
Whatever you say, bro.
When they came face to face.
I ain't calling Bud no duck, but the fact that listen,
I'm talking about when they came face to
Bud
face.
done already killed your argument, bro. And then
No, he
what's
didn't
killing
kill-
even
no,
more
no.
is that his very first fight, out from under Bob Arum is about to be Errol Spence. So that kills everything that you're saying
Oh
about
my
ducking.
God!
It was the politics.
4 years later,
It's going to kill it, bro.
killed my,
So
check it out. It killed my argument.
fight,
4
fam.
years later. 4 years later, they killed your argument. But when everybody wanted to see the fight 4
The
years
fact
ago,
the fact that his
all of a
very
sudden-
first fight from leaving Bob Arum is
Yo,
about to
you
be
know what's
Errol
so crazy,
Spence
man?
tells you what was
This is
keeping
how-
that fight
this is
from
how
happening,
Spence
bro.
won- This is how Spence
This
fans roll.
is what I want to know, though.
All right, whatever you say,
This is what I want to know, though. This is what I want to know as far as this
whatever
whole
you
thing.
say, man. You got it, bro. You got it, dog.
I want to
You right,
know,
I'm
though.
wrong.
I just want to know why the narrative always changes when it comes to Errol Spence. Like, if he would have just said, bro, all right, bro, don't worry, fuck all that 60-40 stuff. You know, if he would have said none of that, and he would have just said, look, man, I want to collect these other belts, then I'm finna fight Bud Crawford. It wouldn't really be no topic of conversation in my
When he say the easy route, when he say the easy route shit, King David. When did he say that? At the Maurice Hooker meeting they had, right?
He said at the Maurice Hooker fight.
Okay, when did they meet up? Bud wasn't even champion yet, right?
Yeah, he was the champion.
Okay,
Yeah,
so he was a champion. He had beat Jeff Horn. So didn't he also tell him that get a belt in that same meeting, or was that another meeting?
What are you talking about?
That's the same meeting, right? Where he told Bud to get a belt.
No. He said that before that.
He said that before that. So Bud was okay. So I was wrong. So Bud was champion when they met at the Maurice Hooker fight, right?
Right.
That is correct.
All right. So and at the Maurice Hooker fight, Earl told him, "Why won't I go the easy route? Get Sean Porter belt, do all that shit, right?"
He said Sean Porter got a belt too. That's what he said.
Okay. So that was in what 2019?
Hold on.
That was in 2019.
See, this
that was in 2019, right?
That was 2018. That was 2018. But here's the thing.
2018 has been his
I asked you a question.
but now it's new,
and you just completely blew right over it. Why, when Errol Spence said, once Terence Crawford get that belt, we can make the fight happen. He told that to Stephen A. Smith
because he going. Okay, it's very simple. Because he going for undisputed, and in order for you to be in his path, you got to be a champion.
What the fuck are you talking?
What you mean?
Is Terence Crawford not part of that undisputed thing? Why couldn't he
Yes,
fight
and
Terence
that's why they
Crawford
about to fight right now, bro.
No. I'm saying back then. Was Terence Crawford?
Yes, but he's also he's a champion.
Okay, so
he's also with Bob Arum. He's also with ESPN.
I ain't trying to hear that.
Right?
Hey,
I know you're not, because you don't want to talk about.
King David, see, this dude be moving. He be moving stuff.
I understand.
Hey,
No,
King
I don't
David,
move.
check
I
this
don't
out.
move nothing, bro. I just
Have
understand when fights are
ESPN and
realistic and when they're
PBC
unrealistic. You
have Top
probably
Rank
think
and
you
PBC
probably think
ever
Tank
done
Davis is ducking
business
Ryan
before?
Garcia too. You
Hey,
probably
has
believe that too.
Top Rank and BBC ever done
I
business
got
before?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they did.
Okay, so
All through 2020 and 2021, the PBC was suing Top Rank because they were trying to get out of a contract with
Man, come
Tyson
on,
Fury and
man.
Deontay Wilder. But they
No,
supposed to do business with him and make the
man.
Terence
Hey,
Crawford
Malcolm, I
Errol
thought you
Spence.
Hey,
was better than
hey,
this,
They
man.
salute,
right.
salute the,
I
hey,
thought
D
you
Young,
was a
man.
lot better than this.
Hey, hold on, y'all. Hold on real quick. Hey, D Young, man.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm done, bro.
D Young, you got something in your background. Sound like you on the highway. You know what I mean? I don't know
My
what the hell's
bad, my
going on.
bad, bro. I'm driving.
Like you got, I hear. You know what I'm saying? Roll your windows up or something. Goddamn, this shit sound crazy as hell, man. It's on the speedway or something like that. But go ahead, what y'all saying, man?
No,
No,
I'm saying this.
I'm
It's like
off
it's
of
the
it, bro.
BBC.
I'm off of it. Like
All right,
I don't care
all right,
about
you off of it,
Hey,
man. Can I
shit
talk for a
good,
second?
man.
So
You
check
know what
this
I'm
out.
saying?
BBC and Top Rank has done business before, including with Terence Crawford. On top of that, 2 fights Terence Crawford for PBC fighters before the Sean Porter joint. I'm talking about prior to Sean Porter. He fought 2 PBC fighters before then. All this Top Rank at PBC. Yeah, it's funny how that works when it
Hey,
comes to
who were the fighters that he fought? Just so I can know.
funny. It's funny how that works when it comes to
Who were the
Terence
PBC
Crawford.
fighters he fought?
Now you said you was done, bro. I'm still talking. So check this out.
But you gotta let us know who the PBC fighters were, though, bro.
Oh, so you don't know? So you
No, I'm
ain't know
asking
about
you.
you
No, I'm asking
but
you.
no, hold on. But do you know? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm asking you.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you
So why
know?
you ask me? Why are you asking me the question if you already know the answer to it?
Because I'm trying to see if you know,
Oh
or
my
if you
God,
just
bro. This dude,
saying
man.
shit.
All right, man.
salute
So
to Joe
I
Hill
just
for the dollar super chat, man.
Because
Salute
you
man.
don't want to talk about how those 2 fighters were second tier fighters and shit, and how they were no name
man,
fighters.
did the
You don't
fight
want to talk about
happen?
that.
Yes or
That's why
no?
you don't want to say their name. But go ahead, bro.
This
When
man.
you get done, I'm gonna cook everything you're
Felix
saying.
Diaz was a second tier fighter. Felix Diaz was a second tier fighter.
Nah, bro, he was on Errol Spence and Bud Crawford
No,
level. Keep going. I'm gonna cook you when you're done. Nah, he was on their level. You right.
Was
Go ahead.
Felix Diaz a second tier fighter? Because I mean, I know you're being sarcastic right now. You said PBC and Top Rank don't do business together. I just gave you an example that they do business together.
I said it's hard for them to do business, and everybody will feed you second tier fighters and guys that they ain't trying to build up.
That's what I'm
But
talking
go
about,
ahead, bro.
man.
Do your thing. I am
This
going
dude
to
just
cook
moving
you
the
when you get
goalposts,
done,
man.
bro. Go ahead.
Nah, you ain't cooking nothing, man. You just moving the goalposts. All I hear is excuses from you, man. I thought you was a lot better than this, bro. But god damn, man, this is pathetic, bro. Nah, go ahead and supposedly try to cook something. Go.
Hold on, before you do that knockout, let me read some of these comments, man, and also let me go through this poll real quick. I appreciate y'all for sliding through, man. You know, we got one hell of a. I told you it was gonna be a hell of a show today. You're going down. Back to the poll, man. I said, what percentage of y'all think the fight is to being done? I got 16% of y'all say the fight ain't happening at 0%. I got 25% of y'all saying it's 50% done. Okay, but a ways to go, close, but a ways to go. I got 41% of y'all, which is the highest percent, saying that it's almost done, not long now, 75% done. And I got 18% of y'all that think the fight is done, man. So salute to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm with the 75, you know what I'm saying? I think it's 75% done as far as the fight. Let me look at some of these comments real quick, and then I'm gonna let Knockout address what Bo was saying. My guy Season C says 2 + 2 does not equal 4 with y'all Errol Spence fanatics. My guy Joel Hill is in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, Joel Hill. He say, but he just told you Bud didn't have the IBF belt. Yeah, that dude Levi, bro. He's like, I still believe it. All right, bro. I mean, I'm giving you facts, but you still choosing to believe that Bud has been ducking Earl for 4 years. I really don't know where you got that. I mean, all these other arguments are debatable, but that is just not. You know what I'm saying? That's just a fact. Yeah, but it is what it is, though. My guy Eminem says, no IBF belt or USBA champion shall box or sign to box a champion of another sanctioning body in seeking to unify a title prior to approval is granted by the championship committee. Just laying out facts, bro. Just laying out facts. But that dude Levi, he don't want to hear no facts. I ain't even giving him my opinion. I'm just telling them what it is as far as the ranking system. But it is what it is. Joe Hill say Bud cannot go the IBF route because he didn't have the belt, bro. Facts.
Eminem says, any event there was a request of boxer, including additional sanctioned by the organization to schedule about. Okay, he giving me the rules. See, Eminem ain't playing. Eminem also say if a boxer chooses business. Okay, I ain't gonna read all that. Joe Hill say Levi lost, bro. Spencer duck. I mean, based on Levi was not making Errol Spence fans look real good, bro. Can we just say that? Knockout. He wasn't helping y'all argument at all.
That dude was all over the place. And then, it's bad when Knockout come out and disagree with his ass too.
I know.
Nah, I mean, look, bro, like Bud ain't been ducking Earl, bro. He ain't ducking Earl.
And we can talk about that, but Levi was
like he ain't been ducking Earl. Like that's like, has he been again, bro? And I know you're reading comments, and I wanted to respond to both, so I'm gonna be quiet after I say this one thing. But again, bro, like the argument is that I think if you on the Earl, so the argument you should be having is this notion that Bud Crawford just been running down on Earl and he been wanting to fight Earl. That's the argument, bro. It's not whether or not Bud is ducking Earl. Was he really just going after Earl the way that his fans say he is? And that's where I disagree with Levi. But go ahead, bro.
What you said, Bo? You want to add to what he said?
Oh, I thought he said. I said Bud was ducking her. I was like, I don't know. I said that.
It was the other dude on here, man. He said Bud. He literally put in the comment section, Bud has been ducking Earl for the last 4 years.
That's literally what he said. That sounds like a true Earl. Well,
no, it's not, bro. Like just like all Terence Crawford, like y'all. All Terence Crawford fans ain't the same. Like y'all brothers, y'all will disagree, but y'all ain't emotional. Y'all don't name call. Y'all just talk boxing. And all Earl fans ain't the same. Like we don't all agree. We got different views and shit. So don't.
But check this out though. Knockout. Hey, check this
all
out.
In the same boat.
How many people you know that support Bud Crawford be creating narratives and shit?
A lot, bro.
Hell,
I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
Man. Come on, man. Yo. You saying
listen, the same way that you might get it on your channel, King David might get it from the other side on his channel, bro. Like I'm telling you, bro, like a lot, fam.
Yo, your right hand man be creating fucking clickbait videos, bro. Come on.
Hold on, who's my right hand man?
Okay, maybe not your right hand man, but you know your boy that be putting out Errol Spence videos 24/7. Oh,
hold on, Bo. A lot of people do that shit.
All right, I'm talking about the dude in the wheelchair.
Oh, you talking about money? Money talk about much he talk about Earl, but look, bro, like money, my guy. But whatever he do,
but I'm saying
the way he got his videos, shit, bro, like that ain't me, bro.
I didn't say it was you. I'm saying like I'm making a comparison, right? I'm saying.
Yeah. But then you have,
it's only one person I know that be on Bud, be making Bud videos, and he be clickbaiting. Well, he be clickbaiting too. And that's
not true, bro. Like, check it out, right? So
I'm saying this is only one.
So I literally see with my own eyes, bro. I literally see with my own eyes, bro. That King David don't do this, you don't do this, but I see with my own eyes, bro. People will get on to Errol Spence argument where you got these people saying that Bud was asking for 30 million or 25 million, right? They get on their ass and say, hey man, that's some bullshit, that's some clickbait, where you get that from? And they want all the facts, all the data, and all the detail, and rightfully so. But then those same people, Bernie the Boxer can come out, he can give no numbers, he can say, hey man, if I know anything about Bud, the reason the fight hold up, because they ain't coming correct. And they will use that based on those exact words, and they will start saying shit like, see, this is proof Terence Bud Crawford is being lowballed by the PBC. Oh yeah, what proof? What they offering him? What he asking for? And can't nobody give you no numbers, bro. Everybody does that shit, bro. It comes from both sides, man. Ain't no one side holier than thou or better than the other. You can find bullshit from both sides of that argument, dog. The thing is, all we gotta do is make sure that it ain't us, bro.
Hey, I tell you what. When it comes to clickbaiting, ain't nobody clickbait like Errol Spence fans. And Errol, I mean, I ain't saying you. I'm saying like a lot of Errol Spence channels, and half of them might not even.
I believe if it's on the pot, let it fly. People can go check my shit. I don't do that shit. I ain't worried about that, man.
No, but half of them might not even be Errol Spence fans. See, what it is that when it comes to talk about Terence Crawford, they know Terence Crawford is you know, you can make money off of donations just by shitting on Terence Crawford. And I see a lot of that shit goes on, and all they do is they be like, oh, well, Terence Crawford turned down the contract. Oh, Terence Crawford.
The same way people shit on Terence Crawford, how many people were making money off of Errol Spence talking about he ain't never coming back from his eye injury? Oh, he about dead in the hospital from the car accident. Like, bro, they do that. They do. Everybody do that shit, bro. If you hate a fighter enough, or you ride with a fighter enough, bro, you can find somebody on both sides that's doing some bullshit that ain't uplifting the sport and talking boxing like we trying to do on here, bro. Like it just is what it is with that shit, bro. Everybody do that shit. I know you got to catch that super chat, King David. My bad, bro.
Yeah, you already know. You already know. Salute to my guy Joe Hill, man, out here, man. Appreciate you for the $5 super chat. He say, bruh, he called out Horn when Bud won. He created a whole street and started offering 70-30 splits, sounding like a dub. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, so let me, because that kind of goes in line with what Bo was saying. So let me just cook on it real quick. So for that shit, right? Number one, Tim Bradley created the whole side of the street shit to duck Errol Spence, which is very fucking funny that people say Errol Spence created the shit. That's the first thing. The second thing is, who am I more serious about fighting? If I say I want to fight King David, because King David is the YouTube champion, and that's all I say, I want to fight King David. But then Bo come along,
my guy Black Light,
and he beat King David ass, right? And then I say, look, I want to fight Bo 60-40. You know what I'm saying, is what I feel like I should get. And then I say, don't make me 70-30. Like, and I actually pull up on Bo, and we have a face-to-face meeting. Who did I want to fight more? Did I want to fight King David more, or did I want to fight Bo more? I'm just gonna let that marinate for all y'all real quick. And then here's my thing about the whole, he ducked Bud for 4 years and all this shit. Look, man, we gotta look at boxing as a whole. What people don't want to admit is that while all this shit was going on, a lot of things happened. Bud kind of turned sour on the fight. Bud also said when Errol Spence had his injury at the end of 2019, I don't want to fight him coming off of that injury. What also happened in 2020 and 2021, PBC was suing Top Rank because of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury trying to make them honor some shit that they had signed, bro. And so you think for a second that while trying to make them honor some shit that they signed, and they telling their fighter, hey man, don't do that shit, fight Anthony Joshua. Y'all expect the biggest fight in boxing made, bro? Like, come on, dog, let's stop.
Man, you know, we could have stopped this if that fight would have took place 4 years ago.
Guess who else is telling you that? Terence Crawford is telling you that. Terence Crawford is suing Bob Arum because of some shit that he did. Terence Crawford is telling you, he's telling all of us, we don't talk to Earl, but you know who got his number and talked to him? Bud did. And what did Bud say? He wants to fight just as bad as I do. I know that for a fact. So this man is saying this shit. You see what's going on between PBC and Top Rank when it came all from 2020 to 2021. And now here it is. We are close to the fight. They both acting like the fight is about to happen. And it's the very first negotiation that Terence Crawford has had since being up under Bob Arum. Now that he has left Bob Arum, all of a sudden, Errol Spence just ain't scared no more. All of a sudden, no, bro, it's been Bob Arum.
Well, he actually, he actually.
Now y'all talked about now King David, and then I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up after this. King David, you just talked about how Levi came up here and he didn't believe no facts that you gave him, bro. Now, before you rebut me, before anybody tries to rebut me, tell me one fact that I didn't say. Tell me one thing I said that was a lie, and then rebut me. If you can't tell me what I said was a lie, bro, then you know I'm speaking facts and I'm speaking the truth, bro.
I only really deal with facts and logic. You feel me? So like Bud Crawford actually was done with Top Rank in what was it, October of last year? That's when he fought. It was that November of last year. Okay. Yeah. Errol Spence fought Ugas in what, April of this year? So we can't say that he was done and then this is the first fight. Nah, he was actually done. And then Errol Spence still fought Ugas. But not only did he fight Ugas, he paid step-aside money to Stanley Jonas in order to get Ugas in the ring.
Yeah, to fight another champion, bro. Who is Terence Crawford fought since Sean Porter, King David?
He ain't fight nobody since Sean Porter.
Okay, so if this fight happens, then he is going directly from Top Rank and fighting Errol Spence, a PBC fighter, is he not, bro?
Okay, but he could have fought. You don't think he could have fought Bud in April instead of fighting Ugas?
So, but you were telling me, because I remember you telling me this, and I remember you saying this, and Terence Crawford fans saying this. Y'all didn't want Bud to fight Earl coming off of the eye injury.
Nah, that was a
now
car
you want him
accident.
to fight him. That's what y'all was saying, right?
I didn't say that.
I remember people saying about the car accident. I don't remember about the eye injury.
He didn't even come back to a tune-up. He came back and got another belt to make the fight even bigger. Your own fighter is telling you how perfect the time is for the fight, how big the fight is.
Okay,
Like, come on, bro.
okay. Look,
Come on, bro.
you gotta look at it like this, knockout.
You can't have it both ways. So did you want him to fight him off the eye injury or no?
I never said that, so I don't know.
Nah,
man,
you know what they doing? Hey, Dave, you know what they doing, right? They take it, melt it into the eye injury and say, oh, well, he ain't said that about the car accident. He said it about the eye injury. When they know good damn well, Terence Crawford said that about the car accident.
Bud never said. Bud never said shit about Earl. I never said that because I don't believe in lying, bro. I said his fans said that shit.
Okay, so just
Bud never said that.
Just to be clear, I ain't never say nothing about no eye injury. I didn't really care about.
I could have sworn you did, bro. We got to go check your live streams around that time.
You probably heard people say it, but you ain't hear me say it.
Okay, and you a man of your word. So if you say you ain't saying, I ain't gonna sit up here and call you no lie. But I remember hearing that shit, bro.
I remember it floating around out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what you're talking about, but I ain't say it. You know what I'm saying? For me, I was always like under the impression that the fight should have happened at that point. But then when we saw the Ugas fight, I was like, oh well, hell! I threw my hands up in the air.
Hey, just real quick, cause I duck no smoke. If you feel that way, Yahoo die. I'll be live tonight at 7:30, bro. If you feel that way, like ain't no, it's just a conversation to me, brother. If that's how you feel, so come holler at me. My panel be open for any and everybody, bro. Agree or disagree, fam.
Yes,
if you can't do it right now since you're at work, I understand you gotta get your money, fam. Get your bread.
Okay, salute to my guy Cash, man, for the $5 super chat, man. He say Bud been calling out Earl since Jeff Horn fight. He
been calling out Earl. Earl been calling out him. They ain't sent no offers either way. So why is one fighter ducking and the other? Like they ain't ducking each other. The fight just got realistic and the shit about to happen, bro. Like I don't like this shit. This shit crazy. Like you ain't scared of a nigga. And you making and you running down on them and trying to do everything you can to make the fight. And I wanted to talk about that real quick, King David, because that's really what I got up here for. This who's backed into the corner conversation, right?
Go ahead, fam. Talk your shit.
So here's the thing, bro. Like, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I feel y'all, but one fighter got a network, another fighter don't. One fighter is waiting for offers and having to negotiate. Another fighter's team is sending the offers. One fighter's promotional outfit has the entire 147-pound division locked down and the entire 154-pound division locked down. So take their names out of it, bro. The one with more options, they ain't good options because I don't want nobody to misunderstand what I'm saying. I don't want no other fight but Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. That ain't what I'm saying. But the fighter with the options is Errol Spence Jr., not Terence Crawford, bro. And Terence Crawford, if he don't fight Earl, bro, the PBC did not sit up here, make a whole WBA tournament go away with Ugas. Get Earl the belt with Sean Porter. Have him go step by step, basically get to the 1 yard line, try to make this fight, have Bud Crawford for whatever reason, if they lowballing him or if they want a one-way rematch clause, which is bullshit. Both fighters deserve a rematch clause if they want it, or if it's fucking the venue, whatever it is, whatever causes the fight to fall through. If the fight don't happen, the PBC is not going to turn around and then do business and try to make another fight with him. The only way for Terence Crawford to get to a Jermell Charlo or get to whoever the champion is at 154, assuming Jermell beats Tim Tszyu and moves up or whatever the case may be, the only way for him to get to that, bro, he got to fight Earl first. The fighter with the options is Earl. And I need all Terence Bud Crawford fans to keep in mind, Tim Tszyu is the mandatory. That fight is made for the beginning of next year. The WBO, can Terence move up as the champion and become Jermell's mandatory now that Tim Tszyu is going to be fighting Jermell? Yes, he can. But I need all y'all to keep in mind that fight can't happen till 2024 because you have 12 months in the WBO Once you fight a mandatory, they ain't just gonna make him fight mandatories back to back to back. So he's fighting his mandatory in the WBO in January of 2023. His mandatory won't be called and won't be due until January of 2024. So this option that you guys seem to think Terence Crawford has, bro. Yeah, he got it, but is it a good option? Because it's July of 2022, bro. He won't be realistically able to fight for the WBO strap at 154 pounds until January of 2024, based on their rules. And y'all know I know them shits. Can he move up? Yes. Will he beat a mandatory? Yes. But since a mandatory is already being fought, that mandatory won't get called for another 12 months, bro. So Errol Spence is the only option. So the fighter that's backed into a corner with nowhere to fight, because Earl could fight Keith. He may not want to, but he'll get the fight before Bud will. Earl could fight Jerron Boots-Ennis as his IBF mandatory. That'll still be a big fight because Jerron Boots-Ennis is a Showtime fighter. Who gonna get that offer from Espinoza? It's gonna be Earl, bro. So Terence is the one that's backed in. First of all, if anybody backed into a corner is Terence, it's not Earl, bro. That shit that makes no sense, bro. Like you can't convince me otherwise. Again, nobody told me I was lying when I went on my last little soliloquy. I got rebutted, but nobody said knockout. This is what you said that wasn't a fact. So again, go ahead and rebut me. Go ahead and tell me how I'm wrong and all that. But in the middle of that,
hey, I just gotta say this though. I just gotta say this, man. How can people rebut you when you talking like 24/7, man? I mean, dude,
I'm done.
Like,
I'll go on mute right now. You go as long as you need to.
Like you said you done, but then when somebody start talking, you just cut them off. Like you see how like we just sat back, we just let you talk. Soon somebody else start talking, you just cut them off. So how can somebody rebut you, man? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so with that said, let me go ahead and rebut what Knockout talking about. So as far as Earl being backed into a corner, he didn't like that I said that a little earlier, and I knew you wasn't gonna like that Knockout. That's why I prefaced it like I know Errol Spence fans ain't gonna like this because I already knew you was in the waiting, listening to that comment. But here go the thing about it. Okay, you said that Bud, that the WBO wouldn't be able to enforce their mandatory until 2024. Okay, you probably right about that. I would wager to say you're probably right about that. You know what I'm saying? But that is the question is Jermell gonna wait until he's forced into a mandatory fight to fight Bud Crawford? Maybe not, because he ain't got that many options at 154 either. So 9 times out of 10, he ain't gonna wait until the WBO forces a mandatory in order to make that fight happen. 9 times out of 10, he'll try to make the fight because it's the biggest fight available for him at 154 pounds. In his eyes, it should be an easier fight because I mean, this is a guy coming all the way up from 135 pounds. So it would more than likely be in his best interest to fight a Bud Crawford sooner rather than later. That's one. And then two, in regards to Bud's options, like Bud don't have to fight. He doesn't have to fight Jermell Charlo next. The thing that a lot of Errol Spence fans fail to realize is Bud has already been undisputed. He's already a three-weight division champion, one-time undisputed champion. He doesn't need to fight these big names. He's doing it because he's trying to add to his legacy, but his legacy is already cemented. So he can go and start fighting guys at 154. He can go fight a Tony Harrison or some other dude that's up there in the division that just has a bigger name in order to stay busy in anticipation for a Jermell Charlo fight. And he could do that all while holding on to that WBO belt and keeping Errol from becoming undisputed. Errol Spence, on the other hand, he's a guy that has 3 belts without a 4th, never been undisputed. The only options he has at 147 are a Boots, are a Virgil Ortiz, are a Keith Thurman. And I know he can fight Keith Thurman, but does he want to fight Keith Thurman? Because that's really more of a high-risk, low-reward fight. All you have, as far as what Errol Spence has as options available to him, are a bunch of high-risk, low-reward fights. The biggest fight for both of these guys at the end of the day are each other. So I ain't finna sit here and cap and say that Earl ain't the biggest fight for Bud, you know what I'm saying? And Bud ain't the biggest fight for Earl. Like, it goes both ways. But at the end of the day is if Earl is not doing these negotiations in good faith, if he's not trying to make the fight happen, like if he's not serious, if he's trying to take another easy route or whatever it is you want to say, like it doesn't benefit his career to do so. It benefits his career the most for him to make this fight with Bud Crawford, and all his other options are sour. See, before he had a Danny Garcia, and he had a Sean Porter, and he had all these other second tier fighters that he could fight that had a big name and offered something as far as a belt or whatever it was to the table. But now none of those options are available to him, and all he has are these top quality contenders and these dogs that haven't really proven themselves, that don't really have big names on the table. So that's what I mean when I say Errol Spence is backed into a corner. He's backed into a corner because all his other options are high risk, low reward. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to Bud Crawford, he has another high risk, high reward fight with Jermell. You know what I mean? Errol don't necessarily have that option, although they probably could fight. Jermell already said that he ain't interested in that fight. So that's what I mean when I make those arguments. You know what I'm saying? But you can go ahead and rebut that knockout if you want to, or Bold, if you want to step in, you can do that too.
Oh yeah, let Bold go. My bad, Bold. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bo, you wanna respond to that, Bo, or you wanna add to it?
Give me 1 second. I'm in the store.
Oh, Bud over there.
I'll talk then, bro. So look, bro, like when it comes to who backed into a corner, I think it is just who got more options. And based on what you said a lot of good things, but sounds like the option for Terence Crawford, move up and fight somebody else, or hope that the PBC does business with Jermell Charlo earlier than 2024. But the names that you mentioned Tony Harrison. I think Terence Crawford versus Tony Harrison is an outstanding fight. But again, bro, is the PBC gonna say, yeah, bro, you pulled out of negotiations with us and Terence Crawford, us and Errol Spence, even if the fans believe that it's our fault. So we'll go ahead and do business with you on another PBC fighter. They're not gonna do that. And again, Jermell Charlo not having options, bro. Go look at the 154 roster. The WBC mandatory, his name's Sebastian Fundora. That's a PBC fight, in-house fight for them. Tony Harrison is right behind him in the WBC. Tony Harrison versus Jermell Charlo 3, that's a big fight. They got Erickson Lubin. What if the Tim Tszyu fight is close? Like, the notion that Bud can just move up and fight these guys at 154, all right, bro. If you believe the PBC is going to do business with them, we see how they do Demetrius Andrade. When Demetrius Andrade fucked them over or didn't fight Jermell or whatever that story is, guess what's happening now? His ass starved out. They ain't trying to do no business with him unless he come over there. So we know Al Heyman petty as shit. And what Terrence gonna do? Like, he can move up and do all of that. Well, I got a news flash for everybody. It's July of 2022, bro. He just fought Sean Porter in November of 2021. That mandatory at 147 pounds coming quick. In November, it could get called. And so does he want to take a potential low money, low risk fight, being a year older? Or does he want to go ahead and cash out and take the big fight with Errol Spence? So again, the question is, who got more options? Who's really backed into a corner? Errol Spence clearly got more options than Bud Crawford right now, bro. Are they good options? I agree with you on that, King David. Hell no. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, that's the dance we need to see. That's the biggest fight possible for both fighters. But the question is, who got more options? And right now, because of his situation, Errol Spence got more options than Bud. They ain't no good options, and we don't want to see him. But he got more options, bro. So Bud the one back into a corner, fam.
I don't know if I would agree that he got more options. You know what I'm saying? Like he well, you know what? As far as if you want to say more options, I would actually agree with you. He got more options. Are they better options? No.
Fuck no. Hell no, they not. Nope, not at all.
But when it comes to quality options, I think Jermell Charlo is just as good as an option as a Errol Spence as a potential fight to make in the future. And another thing,
he a good fight, but he ain't as good as Earl. And Keith Thurman is a good fight, but it ain't as good as Terrence, bro. Like, nah, Jermell is good, but he ain't Earl and Bud good.
Well, another thing I want to mention too is hold on real quick, bro. Let me just say this real quick before you go ahead. But another thing I want to mention too is when you were talking earlier, you were going off the assumption that a fight that Bud would have issues making a fight with the PBC in the future. But you you're not remembering the fact that we just saw Bud fight a PBC fighter in Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's issues making any other fights at 154 pounds if he was able to get one done with Sean Porter. Granted, that took a little bit more work, a little bit more elbow grease in order to get done. But the circumstances has changed since then. Bud Crawford is now signed to Bally Sports, okay, which is affiliate of Showtime and Fox. These fights are a lot easier to make at this particular point in time. You know what I mean? So Bud did decide he wanted to go in another direction because maybe they're not coming to the table with good faith negotiations. He can make these other fights. And again, you know, just like one thing we could definitely agree on is his best option is Errol Spence Jr. and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So we could definitely agree there for sure.
I agree with all of that. I would just say Sean Porter happened to be a mandatory. That's why that shit got made, and they called that shit.
Took a little bit more elbow grease. Took some elbow grease.
But hopefully it don't take all that, bro. They just need to announce this shit so we can start debating who gonna win the fight, bro.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't want to hear about Bud moving up to 154, and I don't want to hear about Earl fighting Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman want to get in the mix and need to meet one of them at 154. They need to fight each other. We need this shit, bro. We need to fight. So that's really all I got on it, bro. But I'm a run, man. My daughter just called me. Salute to you and salute to both. I know we don't agree on these topics, man, but it's always fun chopping it up with you brothers, man. You be easy, King David. I'll catch you next time, dog.
Oh yeah, you be easy, man. I can always appreciate our conversations, bro. Even though we don't agree on things, bro. Like I could follow your logic. I could see where you coming from when you make your points and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's all love over here. Appreciate you for coming through. Y'all be sure to subscribe to the homie Knockout Boxing 86 TV, man. Good boxing content over there. Bo, man, what's up, man? You were gonna say something. Go ahead, fam.
Nah, I was gonna ask, like he said, Jamel Charlo's not good as Errol Spence. I'm just trying to figure out like why isn't he? You know?
He probably was saying something like his name isn't as big as Errol Spence, which is not like as far as name recognition. Errol Spence got a bigger name. That's probably what he was saying, which I could agree with that. You know what I'm saying? But legacy wise, it would actually mean more to Bud's career, legacy wise, to go up and beat Jamel Charlo than it would to fight Errol Spence Jr. So that's another thing. You know what I mean? But again, I'm trying to see Earl versus Bud. So, you know, I mean, those are two. Clearly, they can both see that now each other are the best options available. So they're trying to make the fight. So hopefully they're able to, you know, make it through some of the finer details of the negotiation process and get the fight done. It seemed to me like the fight is 75% done. What did you vote on that, Bo? I had a little poll up. What was your?
I just put 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just waiting for if they're going to announce it, if the fight ever going to take place, because it seemed like there's still negotiations going on. So I don't know. And, you know, earlier, I know, like, you know, the guys was on earlier, but I feel as though Errol Spence did duck Terence Crawford for 4 years. I mean, because despite all the, they meet up and all this. Nah, I mean, Errol Spence was trying to fight Jeff Horn, and the minute Bud got that belt, all of a sudden it was another excuse.
Absolutely. And you know, a lot of Errol Spence fans they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about how willing Errol was to make the fight with Jeff Horn when he had the belt. I mean, when Jeff Horn had the belt, we didn't hear nothing about 60-40, 70-30. We didn't hear nothing about the other side of the street. We didn't hear nothing about taking the easy route first. We didn't hear none of these things that Errol Spence came up with when Bud got the belt. So, I mean, these are the things that lead people like me to believe the nigga's been ducking for the last 4 years. It is what it is. My guy, Joel here, let me read this super chat. He say, you bring up Tim and prove our point. He still ducked Bud. Absolutely. He did bring up Tim Bradley as far as the origination of the side of the street argument. Okay, we got wherever the side of he created another narrative as to why the fight couldn't happen. And that's my thing. The narrative always changes. It always goes from one thing to the other. You always moving the goalposts, bro. Like if you wanted to collect all your belts on your side of the street, you should have said that from jump. That's still ducking, right? And this is another example I wanted to say too. If me and Knockout, I'm gonna use Knockout for example, because that's the homie. If I said I wanted to debate Knockout, or Knockout said he wanted to debate me, right? And I said, nah, we can't debate. We can debate 4 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna debate you, but 4 years from now, I gotta debate this person, and then I gotta go do this, and then I gotta do that, and then it's probably gonna take like 3-4 years. But after that, yeah, we can debate. Bro, how would you take that? How would you accept me deflecting the debate 4 years from now? Would you take it as me being interested in a debate? You probably wouldn't. And that's where we come from when we talk about the fact that Earl been ducking for the last 4 years. But you know, it is what it is. A lot of Errol Spence fans, they don't want to hear that shit. But it is what it is. Just facts. Just facts. Let me see what the poll is right now. See what the poll is real quick. Okay, so the poll is right now. I got 57 votes. I got 27 likes. Y'all be sure to hit that like button one time for your boy. I got 16% of everybody that say that it ain't happening. The fight ain't happening. All right. I got 50% of everybody saying, I got 25% of everybody saying the fight is 50% close to done. All right. But still, it's close, but it got a ways to go. And then I got 70, and then I got 35%, which is the highest percent, which is also the same one I voted for. The fight is 75% done. So almost done, just not long now. You know what I mean? And then I got 100, and then I got 25% of the people that say the fight is actually done. You know what I'm saying? And we're just waiting on the announcement. So I guess we'll see, man. Time will only tell what the result of this actually is. You know what I mean? But one thing I want to do on this live today, bro, I want to actually break down the fight a little bit. Okay, my guy D-Ray Promotions in the motherfucking building. Salute to you, D-Ray. You know what I mean? Y'all the way in the building. Salute to you, y'all. My guy Cash say that's not a fair analogy. Is that what you say? All right, give me a better analogy, Cash. What's a more fair analogy? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My guy Joel Hill said, I would say that's ducking, King. Yeah, I'm sure you would. I bet 90% of everybody would say that that's ducking. You know what I mean? But my guy Cash say it's not a fair analogy. I think it's a pretty fair analogy. You know what I'm saying? Bold, anything you want to add to it? And then after you your rebuttal, not rebuttal, but after you say your thing, I'm gonna read some comments on here.
Yeah, I just said, man, to me, the fight is probably more 50-50 now because, like I said, I thought Errol Spence didn't want no parts of Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford right at the time was at the peak of his career. Now he's on the back half of his career. And basically Errol Spence is right pretty much where Terence Crawford would have been, 4 years ago, pretty much. The thing is that I think he strategically avoided that fight until he felt, Terence is turning 35 and he feel like it's safe to come out to play finally. And then, a lot of people like, they're going to be like, yeah, they feel so confident now. They're like, yeah, he going to knock Bud out. All because, they feel comfortable. But about a year ago, or like the past 4 years, it was like a whole bunch of, goalposts moving. It was like, oh, well, Bud need to do this. Oh, Bud need to go do that. Oh, Bud's still with Top Rank. But now all of a sudden it's, yeah, we ready for Bud. And that's the part that makes me so upset with this. This fight should have been happened. I don't care if this fight would have been for undisputed or not. This fight should have already happened years ago. Errol Spence ain't want that fight. And I'm sorry to say, to a lot of Errol Spence fans, but that's just how I truly feel. Because the energy is different when he wanted to fight Sean Porter, when he wanted to fight Mikey Garcia, when he wanted to fight Danny Garcia. That energy was like, yeah. And I know people gonna say they was on the same side of the street, but nah, he was willing to fight those guys, but he had a different energy when it came to Terence Crawford.
Facts. Hey, and y'all be sure to subscribe to my guy Bold and Understand this channel, man. He got a channel on here, YouTube, man. He be talking some good boxing talk, man. So y'all be sure to subscribe to Bold and Understand this as well, man. But I agree with you, man, 100%. 100%, man. Let me look at some of these comments, man. Eminem, I'm going all the way back a little bit. Eminem says, This guy's just talking. He came on saying the IBF has the same rules as the WBO regarding champions moving up in weight. It clearly doesn't have that rule in their laws, their bylaws. It doesn't, bro. Dude came on here just, I mean, no type of facts. And you know, my thing is what's always funny to me is the main dudes who be like, I'm just coming with facts. Them be the dudes that be the most unfactual. You know what I mean? Like what?
That's because they be getting it from their favorite YouTube channels and shit that be putting out their information and whatnot. They just be like, oh yeah, well that dude said it's gold, and then they fucking follow up and they don't even do their own research.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. Zero research, man. Zero. Joel Hill says, Levi, where's the facts? Earl is a duck, is what Joel says. Absolutely. This man is clearly speculative, is what C says. You know what I mean? Call this nigga Mr. Ultimatum. Okay.
He said sensitive.
Sensitive? Oh. Sensitive. My guy, Charles Picknett says, Spence started the duck on the video next to Bob. Yeah, man, facts, bro. Like, bro, why don't I go knock Sean Porter out? Why don't I go say, bro? Like, I don't. Errol Spence fans try to spin this so many times. Like, you can't spin this, bro. Like, they try to like come up with new reasons and new definitions for what the easy route actually meant. But why would Earl say, why don't I go knock out Sean Porter? If it was just a fight that was clearly easier to make, why don't I go knock out Sean Porter? You're saying that Sean Porter is an easier fight for Crawford. You know what I mean?
The part that got me is, see, Spence fans, they talk that size of the street stuff right along with Spence, but what I find ironic is that Errol Spence said he was his own boss. So I don't know where he get this other side of the street from if he's supposed to be his own boss.
Facts. You the big fish. But I gotta talk to my promoter. Just like the Charlos. You be like, I don't make my own fights, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't. But then he want to say David Benavidez got to take a Coatwood test and do all these little things in order to make the fight. But you don't pick your fights, though, right? According to you, Jamal. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's a whole nother can of worms right there. You know. Let's see. He said, bro, he called out Horn. Then when Bud won, he created a whole side of the street. I mean, these are just facts, bro. Like if we track the timeline, as soon as Bud got that belt, it became an issue with the side of the street. That's when Earl did his little press conference where he was saying, I fight for sports. He fights for ESPN and Top Rank. Well, why didn't you have that same energy for Jeff Horn? He don't fight for Showtime and Fox. So why didn't you have that same energy? And I don't want to continue to keep dwelling on it because it seemed like we about to get the fight. I don't want to keep going rehashing it. But when people come online and they start just making it seem like Earl was never ducking because the fight is now close to being made now, like that's just not the truth at the end of the day. It just ain't. Let me see here. Let me go down a little bit to the bottom because some of these comments are like the same. Renaissance Rain says that's not facts. At Charles Pick, Crawford fought PBC fighter Delorme Diaz Molina at 140. All of that, all when he was at Top Rank. Facts. Sure did. Those were all PBC fighters. And you know, to a certain degree, I can understand where some Errol Spence fans will say, well, Errol Spence is their big ticket fighter, so they're not going to be as willing to put Earl in the ring with Bud Crawford. I can understand when some of them make that argument, but at the same time, y'all go too far with the argument when you make it seem like it's impossible to make a cross-promotional fight. Like what you were saying earlier, Bo, I made that same argument before in the past. Like at the end of the day, we saw Wilder and Fury, cross-promotional fight. We saw Sean and Bud, cross-promotional fight. A fight can happen. A cross-promotional fight can happen. Sure,
we saw Lomachenko and Gary Russell.
Lomachenko and Gary Russell go another one. I mean, a cross-promotional fight can happen. Of course, it might be a little harder to make. That's not what we're saying. We ain't saying it's an easier fight to make. Of course, it might be a little harder to make because you're working with two parties as opposed to one party. But that don't mean the fight can't happen. And the fact that you're even bringing that up as an obstacle is another indication that you ducking. at the end of the day.
And not to mention, Errol Spence fans want to get on Tim Bradley, but he's with Top Rank. Errol Spence with PBC. But then when it comes to Bud, they make all the excuse for fucking Errol Spence. That's the part I don't understand.
Facts. But let's go back to what this dude say. This dude, hold on, I got to highlight it here. This dude Levi Anthony was on the panel a little bit earlier. He say Bud fans will defect, and deflect. They don't know his resume. Fam, I don't know what it is you're referring to exactly. I know this is from a little bit earlier, but all the deflecting seemed to have come from you, fam. Like every time I was giving you facts, all you did was deflect, you know what I'm saying? And just shield yourself from the facts and come up with these other little arguments that ain't got nothing to do with what the hell we talking about. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Levi Anthony also said a little bit earlier, he emotional and has no facts. I mean, bro, if you describing yourself is what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it going. It seemed like Levi over there hating. He ran up off the goddamn panel real goddamn fast. So it's clear, nigga. I ain't kick you off. You ran up out of here. You know what I mean? Because clearly we're getting too hot. You know, this conversation is nonsense. It is, bro. Just deflected. My guy, Fresh Prayers 402 says one of them was a gold medalist. Absolutely. I believe wasn't Thomas DeLong. I know Felix Diaz was a gold medalist.
Felix Diaz.
I know Felix Diaz was, and I know Gamboa was. But I think Thomas Delorme was an Olympian though, if I'm not mistaken. And also, yeah, I think he was an Olympian. But don't quote me on that. You know what I mean? He sound like I don't know what he's trying to say there. Terry Smoot Jr. says Bud fans are worse than Manny and Canelo fans. Of course, Terry out here trolling. Of course, you already know Terry on that bullshit. I swear, Bud fans sit in the back of the short yellow bus. Nah, that's where you sit at, Terry. That's where you sit at. I gave no facts. Come on, bro. Come on. Hold the L, bro. Just hold it. No PBC fighters fought top-ranked fighters at 147 pounds. And you know, that's another thing, bro. A lot of Errol Spence fans like to make rules. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they never fought. They never been no cross-promotional fights at welterweight. Bro, so just because it's welterweight, now all of a sudden it changes the rules of promotion. Like, where y'all niggas come up with this shit, bro? Anything to try to deflect. Anything to try to prove your point. You know what I'm saying? Because it's at welterweight, that means that it's different. You know what I'm saying? But I told BBC fighter, you know, BBC fighter. Yeah, but let's keep it going though. My guy Fresh Prayers 402 says Errol Spence fans was proud that he kissed Yellow Beezy. G Parker say, let's go. We in here, fam. Salute to you, G Parker. Hey, I got the link on here, man, too, for y'all, bro. So if any Errol Spence fans out there in the comment section, you want to come through and cook. At the end of the day, bro, I'm respectful with mine, bro. You know, I'm just gonna deflate your points. Is all I'm gonna do. Like I ain't gonna get into the name calling and all that, bro. I'm just gonna, like I did with Levi, I'm gonna give you facts, okay? And it's gonna be up to you. It's gonna be up to you to try to prove your case. You know, it's gonna be up to you to try to prove your case. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Here. Levi Anthony also say, y'all be easy, Bud getting destroyed, and y'all gonna delete it all. You crazy as hell. He say, Cash say, I heard somebody out here being mad emotional. Yeah, bro. Me, Levi. G Parker say, this one fight, I can't wait till it's over. I'm tired of the bullshit. Both sides. I've been saying that this was business move the whole time. Spencer Crawford could not fight unless it was all for the belts. Ah, man. I hear what you're saying, G Parker. I don't agree, though. You know what I'm saying? But I hear what you're saying, though. I respect my guy, G Parker. The clickbait is definitely one-sided. Like what you were talking about earlier, Bo, when you were talking about the clickbait films, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know what Knockout was talking about. He said he had a whole bunch of Crawford fans doing clickbait. I'm like, the only person I knew that was a Crawford fan that did a clickbait is the dude that got the name Crawford in the damn channel.
Bud Crawford beats Easy Root Spence.
Yeah.
That's my guy, though, man. He be coming with facts, but his
Nah,
title.
but I think he be clickbaiting because he see the the Spence fans doing it, so he like, well, shit, I'm about to do the same thing.
Right. But it's meant to be a joke though. Like it's it's like a it's literally like him making fun of them. You know what I'm saying? It's literally what it is. And some other content creators did the same thing, like proving the point. Like dudes like Coach Malachi, he did like titles proving like, hey, fight done. Like, you know what I mean? Like using some of these clickbait titles and in order to like prove a point, kind of like as a joke, but that's pretty much what he get off. That's my guy, dog. He coming with
I look at his page, right? But he did clickbait some videos. This dude put a title and said, he said the reason why Errol Spence been ducking Bud Crawford, and I watched the video, and all he did is play a clip of somebody punching a punching bag. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this shit, man?
He be trolling though. He be trolling. He just be trolling. That's all he is, bro. But I heard it was a page out there called Aerosexuality. I heard it was.
Yeah. I saw that name in a comment section somewhere.
Aerosexuality. That's funny as fuck, bro. But I respect the trolls. This shit is all fun at the end of the day, bro. Like, for me, I don't take nothing out here too serious. It's all fun for me at the end of the day, bro. Coming on here talking boxing with y'all, debating with y'all. It's all out of love, bro. All of it is out of love for me. Beige says NGL, I was an Earl supporter at first because of his association to Tank. So I know exactly how Errol fans felt when Bud pulled up in that one video. Our heart dropped. Pulled up on him, you know what I mean? Errol held his own, but not really. I take that back. He was looking kind of weak in that video. G Parker say, salute King David, Knockout Box 86 TV. Y'all my guys. We've been A1 since day one. Yeah, that's my guy, G Parker, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's my guy right there. My guy, Joel Hill says, what I'm saying is the nigga called out Horn and then there was a side of the street. Yeah, bro. I agree with you. Don't change the situation, bro. Okay, let me go down. Let me go down to the bottom because let me go down to the bottom and read some of these comments. My guy Yadaway says, facts fam, Bud made a boss move by signing with Intro Box, Bally Sports, formerly Fox Sports. I do agree with one thing. Knockout said, we need this fight with Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford. I think we all can agree on that. And we all should agree on that, But I know we got some contrarian ass fans that will just disagree with that shit just for the hell of it. Like, I don't know. Nah, Errol could do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we all should want the fight to happen at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? My guy Ardrell is here in the building. Salute to you, fam. He say Spence fans don't want to talk, Spence fans won't touch how Danny Garcia moved up 2 weight classes and got an immediate shot at Errol Spence IBF title. Oh my goodness, he sure did.
It must be Mikey
Garcia. Yeah, absolutely. So it's cool for Mikey Garcia to move up and get the fight. And Errol Spence fans, they're gonna try to justify it by saying, oh, well, Mikey was kind of affiliated with with a PBC, and it was a fight that was easy to make. That's how they gonna justify it. But
yeah, matter of fact, I debated somebody over that, man, and the excuse they came up with was like a sad excuse. They was like, well, Mikey had fans, and that's why Errol Spence did, the pay-per-view joint with him because of the Mexican fans and stuff. And I'm like, come on, man, like really? Like we're gonna fight a lightweight just so we could get Mexican fans? Like that shit didn't even make sense to me.
Right. Now that sounds crazy as hell. Yeah, that sound. Now, if you want to say that they were trying to build Errol Spence's name, that at least makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But when people say, oh, well, Mikey called him out. Well, Bud called out Errol too, coming up from 140, the undisputed champion. So on that note, that should have been enough for the fight to happen as Bud was moving up to 147 pounds. So I already know all the arguments. It's just it. No matter how you put it, no matter which way you want to go, I'm going to deflate and debunk that shit, bro. You want to say, oh, Mikey called out Errol, Bud called out Errol too. So then on that premise, the fight should have been happening. You know what I mean? But again, man, dudes don't do don't want to admit that. They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk facts. They rather come up with little narratives on why the fight couldn't happen. But the reality of the situation is, if Earl wanted the fight to happen, the fight could have happened. Period. Because just like that Showtime executive said, what's his name? Not Tim Smith, but the other one who was at that Bud fight. Not Stephen Espinoza. He was another dude that worked for PBC when Bud was doing the interview.
Tim Smith.
Maybe I don't think it was Tim Smith. It was a white dude. Tim Smith is black, right? It was a
yeah.
It was a white dude, and he was at the Bud press conference.
Oh, you're talking about Tom Brown.
Tom Brown. There we go.
Yeah.
Tom Brown said, if the fighters want to make the fight can happen. Right. So when dudes try to paint all these narratives and put all these roadblocks as to why the fight can't happen, if Earl wanted the fight with Bud Crawford, then the fight would have happened because Bud already made it known he wanted to fight with Errol Spence. So what is we really talking about here with all these different excuses y'all got? You know what I mean? G Parker say, Danny fight Ivan Redkach at 147 before he fought Earl, bro. My guy T Gas said, also throwing the fact that he said Bud was too small yet fought Mikey Garcia. Facts. He sure did fight Mikey Garcia. Bud was light in the ass, but you got no problem getting your ass in the ring with Mikey Garcia. See what I'm saying? My guy C said he only fight on Showtime or Fox, but one fight before fought Brooke on Sky Duck.
And
hey, Steve, go ahead.
You know what's so crazy, right? And I think I read this in the comment section too, and they have a point. It's funny how they said, oh, well, why would Terence Crawford fight Errol Spence coming off an eye injury, but Errol Spence fought Kell Brook coming off an eye injury? They don't say nothing about that.
Goodness gracious. That's a whole nother topic of conversation right there, because that could end badly for a lot of Errol Spence fans right there. We go deep with that one, but that is facts right there. Sees, he said he only fight on Showtime, but one fight before that he fought Brooke on Sky Sports. Does that mean that the fight could have happened? I think so. I don't know why a lot of Errol Spence fans don't though. My guy Mike, Mike Rim, he says it all depends on the fight and who is fighting. If it's a weak fight with no money, then they don't mind making it. But the problem is when it's a big fight. Okay, and you know, and when people make that argument, I always say, okay, well, if you want to say, well, the network is protecting their big draw, I can understand that. But at the end of the day, if the fighter wants to make the fight can happen. I can understand them whispering in Errol Spence's ear and saying, listen, man, we making all this money. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get your name out there. You know, you still young. You still got some big fights in there. There's other fights that you should probably take instead of a Terence Crawford. You know, I can understand them doing it. But Errol Spence is the one that decides whether or not he wants to fight Terence Crawford, when and where. You know what I'm saying? Not the other way around. You know, he got to sign the contract, right? A lot of people like to say this sign the contract shit. Well, guess who got to sign the contract every time a fight is made? Errol Spence. He got to sign it. So when the fight was brought to him about Mikey, he had to sign the contract. When the fight was brought to him about Danny, he had to sign the contract, right? So who has the final say so on who they fight? The guy signing the contract or the guy promoting the fight? Come on, man. Y'all got to think about this shit. My guy Demetrius Ross in the building. Salute to you, fam. He say salute, boxer die. Salute to you, man. My guy Get Touched Up Boxing is here in the building. Salute to you. Salute, boxer die. Appreciate you, fam, for coming on through, man. My guy Mike Rim says, how can he pull up on Earl at a top rank event? Come on, man. Pull up on Earl at a top rank event. I mean, it don't matter how you slice it.
People get, no matter what event is at.
Exactly. It really don't. Like I don't see what that has to do with it. But the thing about it is, no matter how you slice it, we saw what the conversation was had between the two got together. That's the important part, whether who pulled up on who or whatever the case is. And one thing I can say for sure, Mike Rim, is Bud showed up at more than a few of Earl's fights, if I'm not mistaken. He pulled up on Errol literally at a few of his fights, right? How many fights has Errol Spence been to about Bud Crawford? One, right? And then what happened? Soon as the fight was over, he ran up out the goddamn building. You know what I mean? So if we got to even debate who's pulling up on who, we got more receipts and we got more evidence to back up Bud doing more of the pull up than Errol at the end of the day. Keep reading these comments. Sad Gamboa moved up 2 weight classes and was on the shelf for a year and still gave dancing lessons. That's crazy. Tom Brown, Yahweh, my guy talking about Tom Brown. Okay. Okay, y'all talking Tom Brown. Okay. Yeah, he said get a belt, but nobody said the fight was next. See, and that's what a lot of Errol Spence like to say. A lot of Errol Spence fans like to say. He didn't say Errol was next. He said get a belt and then the fight would happen. You know what I'm saying? But when you use a technicality like that, you almost kind of agreeing with the narrative that he was ducking, because Errol only gave the prerequisite of get a belt first. You know what I'm saying? And then when he got the belt, if Errol's a man of his word, like he said he is, the next thing should have been to fight Bud Crawford. But if you want to go and say, oh, he didn't say when he was going to fight him. Okay, cool. But that would just be like, what's a good example for that? Just like I was talking about the debate earlier. I told Knockout, hey, Knockout, all you got to do in order for us to debate is get 1,000 subscribers, right? Knockout get 1,000 subscribers, and then we don't debate. And then 4 years later, I'm like, well, yeah, now we could debate. And then wait, let me get the example properly. Knockout get 1,000 subscribers, and then I'm like, okay, now I gotta take the easy route before we can debate Knockout. I gotta go debate these other channels. I gotta go do this, easier channels to debate, right? Easier channels to debate. And 4 years later, now maybe I'm ready to actually debate Knockout. So now I call him out. I mean, what does that sound like to y'all though? You know what I'm saying? I gave you a prerequisite in order to get the fight done. You get the prerequisite done. At that point, the expectation is that we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the fight happen. So when that doesn't happen, that proves that you're not a man of your word like you said you would. It's just like when you take your daughter to the store and you say, if you get straight A's, I'm going to get you that candy you want, right? She gets straight A's, and then when she asks about her candy, you tell her, well, I didn't say when you were going to get the candy. You know what I mean? Like that's essentially the argument that you give when you make that type of statement. Mike Rim says, but all that old shit don't matter. The fight is like Bud saying, the fight is past me. I don't want the fight. It'll never happen. That don't matter no more. Let's see what happened. You know what I'm saying? I like when Errol Spence fans like to bring that up, because you bringing that up 3 years after Bud has been trying to make the fight with Errol Spence Jr. And you never talk about the reason why he said the fight was past him. You always just talk about the fact that he said that, but you never talk about the fact of why he said that or the circumstances that came along with that. But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. My guy Bay said, very true. If Errol and his fans say Benavidez had one leg when Bud beat him, what makes you think that they wouldn't say Errol had one eye when he beat? First of all, I just want to be clear. My last live was, will Terence Crawford get credit for beating Errol Spence Jr.? And the answer is a resounding no. I don't think Terence Crawford is going to get the full credit for beating Errol Spence Jr. regardless. I just don't think that is going to happen, because Terence Crawford don't get credit for his resume now. He don't get credit for beating the most undefeated fighters, right? He don't get credit for beating the most Olympic gold medalists at 147 pounds. He don't get credit for moving up 3 weight divisions and becoming undisputed at a weight division. So how's he gonna get credit for beating Errol Spence Jr.? I just don't buy that. You know what I mean? That he's even gonna get credit for beating Errol Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, more comments coming in. But go ahead. Let me take a break from the comments real quick, Bo. You want to cook on anything that was said in the comments or anything that I said?
Nah, you cooking, man. I'm just listening what you got to say and whatnot. I'm just amazed at the one dude in the comment section, boy. He got hell of excuses when it comes to Errol Spence.
Hella excuses. Facts. Hella excuses, man. Just so many, bro. Like, at the end of the day, man, it's like the fact that you even have to come up with an excuse as to why the fight ain't happening, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes that you even have to give me background and try to come through with these little tidbits. The fact that you even got to do that, you know what I mean? And also, too, a lot of you dudes, a lot of Errol Spence fans that like to come with all these reasons why the fight couldn't happen. What that got to do with what Errol Spence is saying out of his mouth? I'll wait. What that got to do with what Errol Spence is saying out of his own mouth? What that got to do with Errol Spence saying he want to take the easy route first? What that got to do with Errol Spence saying 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, and then coming out later on talking about he joking, right? What that got to do with Errol Spence saying he's on the wrong side of the street? What that got to do with Errol Spence paying Stanionis step aside money so he could fight Dennis Ugas? What that got to do with any of them things, you know? So it's all a deflection at the end of the day for me, you know, all of it. My guy Demetrius Ross say, don't forget that Dallas fight where Spence fans tried to fight Bud to keep him from getting in the ring. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. They didn't want Bud nowhere near that ring, bro. They didn't want him nowhere near that ring, bro. Like, security was airtight. That's all I got to say about that. Security was airtight. Mike Rim says he didn't say at 140 like when Mikey moved up. He stayed at 147. He didn't stay at 140 like when Mikey moved up. He stayed at 147. Mikey last fights was for 140, so he moved up one weight class. But like I said, all that don't matter now. I agree that all that don't matter now, but that's the only part of your statement that I agree with. You know what I'm saying? Because he had one fight at 140, facts. Okay. But it was one fight at 140. One fight. And the guy who he was fighting was a natural lightweight. So he wasn't even fighting a legit 140 pounder. He was basically fighting a lightweight at 140, right? And then that was one fight. So even with that, you still can't say he came up one weight class because he was really fighting a lightweight at 140, right? Who do you remember who that fight was at 140 Mikey Garcia had before Terence Crawford, Bo? I forgot who that was with.
Was it Lipinets?
Was it Lipinets? I don't think it was Lipinets. I think it was now I want to look up his resume. Hold on a second. What's the dude Mikey Garcia fought? Hold up. Mikey. Sure. He fought Robert Easter. He fought Robert Easter at 140.
That was at 135, right?
He fought Robert Easter at 140.
Oh, that was at 140. I could have sworn he fought him at 135. I thought he went down to 135 to fight Robert Easter and then went up to fight Errol Spence.
Did he do that? Hold on. IBF World Light. Okay, you know what? You're right. Maybe he fought, was it who he fought? Because he fought Broner before that too. Maybe he fought Broner at one. Yeah, he fought Broner at 140. Broner came from 130. So he fought Broner at 140. Lipinets. We fought Lipinets at super lightweight. Okay, so he fought Broner. He fought Broner at 140. He fought Lipinets at 140. Two lightweights at 140. And then he fought Robert Easter. He went back down and fought Robert Easter at 135 and then went to 147 to fight Errol Spence Jr. at 147. So even the 2 fights he had at 140 was against natural lightweight 135 pounders. And then he went back down to 135, playing around with weight, and then went up 2 weight classes to fight Errol Spence Jr. So that's what he did. Make sure we get the facts right. Mike Rim said, but he did not pull up the most important one, which he said he was going to get called out, but he stayed home and played Madden. Oh, come on, bruh. Come on, fam. You heard what this man just said, Bo? He talking about Bud stayed home and played Madden. No, he had a fight. One of his dudes on his team had a fight that night. So he went to the dude on his team. He went to the dude on his team fight rather than go to another Errol Spence fight, in which case Errol Spence has a history of not saying Bud Crawford's name, right? He went to one of his stablemates fight rather than go to another Errol Spence fight, which Errol Spence ain't gonna say his name. You know what I mean? Get touched up box and say, yeah, Crawford at 9. Absolutely. Crawford gonna knock that boy. He gonna stop that man. You know what I'm saying? He gonna stop that man. Which let's go ahead and get into this too right here, right? Bo, how you think the fight is gonna go? You know what I'm saying? How you think the fight is gonna go between Errol Spence and Bud Crawford? I think I already know what your answer is, but you know what I'm saying? Break down the fight. I know you picking Bud to win, but how you think he gonna win?
I think if Bud go in there not cocky, because sometimes Bud do go into fights a little bit too cocky, right? And like he went in over cocky with Mean Machine. Mean Machine kind of like hit him up early in the fight during the early rounds and whatnot. But if he go in there focused, I think the minute I think he's gonna come out starting southpaw. He's gonna start southpaw, and then I think as the fight goes along, probably within the middle rounds, like maybe the 5th or 6th round or something like that, he might switch it to like orthodox and just start countering Spence, because we know like when it comes to the middle round, Spence does like to turn up the heat a little bit as far as pressure wise. But Bud being a boxer puncher, I think as Spence turns it up, Bud gonna catch him with a lot of counter shots, and Spence might end up running into something. So I do have Bud stopping Spence late, but my only thing, like I was saying earlier, is Bud turning 35. I just hope that doesn't affect his performance. Because like I said, he's going on the back half of his career right now, and I think that's the only reason why Errol Spence want to fight him.
I definitely don't think that they anticipated Bud being in the picture at this particular point in time. I definitely feel like the PBC figured that at this point in time, Bud would have either moved up, tired of waiting on Errol Spence, or maybe even retired, because he has enough on his resume and has achieved enough accolades at this point in his career to retire, or just at the twilight of his career, like you said earlier, Bo. And they like the idea of trying to catch him at the tail end of his career. So I definitely don't think that they expected Terence Crawford to still be here, at 147, still actively pursuing the Errol Spence fight. That's why I said in one of my other videos, I bet Errol Spence, he wake up every morning like, fuck, I can't believe this nigga Terence Bud Crawford is still in the picture. This nigga still here, bro. I told this nigga easy ride. I told the nigga side of the street. I came up with all these bullshit reasons, bro. This nigga still here, bro. I bet every morning this nigga frustrated, bro. Just simply because I'm all them excuses, everything that came before it. Bud is 34, 35 years old. I feel like they figured he'd be gone by now. He'd be out the picture one way or another, but that just hasn't happened, And now it look like we getting ready to get this fight, though. But let me address what my guy Mike Rim say. My guy Mike Rim say he fought Adrian Broner after Robert Eason. The thing is, when I gave you that information, Mike, I was actually on BoxRec giving you the information. So I can see he fought Broner 2017, and I can see that he fought Robert Easter 2018. So these are just facts again, bro. These are just facts. My guy Yahweh say you cooking, man. Really enjoying the show. Appreciate you, fam. Yeah, bro. Appreciate you. Say I don't know boxing. Mike Real say I'm a boxing fan. I'm not a person fan, but you better look it up. If he beat Robert Easter first, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just stating facts. He beat Robert Easter first. Nah, bro, you wrong, bro. You wrong. I'm gonna need you to pull up BoxRec immediately. Pull up BoxRec immediately, fam. Pull it up immediately. You know what I'm saying? Because clearly you need to defer to BoxRec, bro. He fought Robert Easter in 2018. He fought Adrian Broner in 2017, fam. Pull up BoxRec. Don't take my word for it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up for you. Fuck all that. I'm gonna pull it up for you. Pull it up for you.
Yeah, he definitely fought Robert Easter at 135 because I think some people was thinking that Robert Easter was going to beat Mikey Garcia. Yeah. And I guess after that fight with Robert Easter, that's when he started calling out Errol Spence.
Right. That's when he got happy. He beat Adrian Broner and Mikey Garcia, so he figured he was the shit, and then went and try to go up and fight Errol Spence Jr. But my thing is, you had Bud Crawford calling Errol Spence out too. So what made you decide to go the Mikey Garcia route instead of the Bud Crawford route at that time? Is my thing. But hold on, here go to BoxRec real quick. Let me pull it up for my guy in the chat, saying I don't know boxing and all this old stuff, which is crazy because I'm legit reading it off of BoxRec. But here you go, right here, fam. Y'all can see the screen. You can see the screen, Bo.
Yeah, I see it.
You can clearly see Robert Easter Jr., 2018, Adrian Broner, 2017. And then you go up. His next fight after Robert Easter Jr. at 135 pounds was Errol Spence Jr. at 147 pounds. So not only did he fight Adrian Broner before Robert Easter, but he moved up 2 weight classes, fam, from 135 for the IBF lightweight title, WBC lightweight title. He moved up 2 weight classes to fight Errol Spence Jr. You know what I mean? So these are just facts, man. I ain't giving you my opinion on this shit. These are just facts. That's all.
Yeah, I noticed they fixed up BoxRec because I was on there the other day and that shit was all fucking jacked up.
Yeah.
It was like a maze to get, like you had to click on the person. They had like drop down fucking arrows and shit. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, if you do it on your phone, it looked like they got a mobile enabled version now. So if you got the mobile enabled version, then that's gonna come up.
Everything today.
Oh shit, my bad. Yeah, then that's gonna come up. They seem like they just made their website like mobile friendly, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But my guy T Gas say this sums up most Spence fans and people in general. One thing I've learned in life is if people like you, they find ways to make excuses. It's very clear that Spence is ducking Crawford. Facts. Well, we made our point pretty clear.
They was sitting up there saying Crawford should fight Boots and everything, or should fight Thurman, should fight. It's like these Spence fans, boy, they was throwing roadblocks in front of Terence Crawford and whatnot.
Oh yeah, they was throwing all types of roadblocks, man. All types of reasons why the fight can't happen. Why don't he fight Boots? All these different little things. I remember even saying out there, people were saying that Bud was ducking Boots. I even seen that in one video one time. I just chuckle at some of these niggas, but unfortunately, some of these content creators that put out a lot of this information, like people legit listen to them, you know what I'm saying, and think what they saying is fact, just like what you were saying earlier, Bo. They take that shit seriously without doing no type of research or formulating any type of personal opinion on the matter, Well, that's my thing, though. This is why research is necessary. Facts, Demetrius Ross. Very necessary. And I'll tell y'all, don't take my word for it. Shit, y'all, like I did with fam. Pull up BoxRec. You could clearly see that he fought Adrian Broner before he fought Robert Easter. you know. But I don't know why it was so hard for Fam to pull up BoxRec just to see that Adrian Broner fought fought Robert Easter. Or sorry, Mikey Garcia fought Adrian Broner before Robert Easter. I don't know why that was so hard for him to do. But just like you said, bro, that definitely describes why, you know, what we get with a lot of these Errol Spence fans, man. You know. But yeah, bro, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, bro. We've been on here about almost 3 hours now, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up, bro. So Bo, go ahead and give me, man, your final thoughts on everything, man. What you think, all that good stuff, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close up shop.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what program you use when you be removing the background? I see a lot of people doing that. Like I know how to do it, but it's more like in a GIF form. Like how you like remove the background and people still be talking.
Okay, I can give y'all some game right now. It's called InShot. I actually use a mobile app called InShot. You know what I'm saying? That's what I be using my editing for. You know what I mean? So anybody out there, you interested in editing or you want to do editing or whatever for videos, you can go ahead and you can download InShot. And yeah, just kind of, it's an editing software. Just learn how to use it, and you know, it lets you cut out the interviews. It lets you cut out the people out of the, you know, as far as the background, like what you talking about, Bo. So yeah, bro, InShot. It's INSHOT, InShot.
Yeah, because I did one on a computer, right? I had removed the background, but it also removed the audio to it, and then it actually slowed it down. I was like, why is shit moving so slow? So I mean, I know I could do it like the if I use my editing joint, because I got the Power Director, but that shit is like time consuming when you remove backgrounds like that, because you gotta keep going to different keyframes and shit, and then you gotta like readjust it. But then, you know, I went on, like, I looked at an app, and it's like I put like a video in there. It removed the background, but it just removed the audio right along with it.
Oh yeah. I used to use Power Director too, man. I used Power Director probably like 2-3 years ago. I was using Power Director, and honestly, this InShot has a little bit more features as far as what you could do with editing. So I actually prefer it a lot. I don't know about the new Power Director, because I know they probably got like 15 now or something like that, but this InShot has,
they're like, I think they're like 20 right now, 20 or they on that 365 joint right now. So it just like automatically updates every year. Well, every month, every time they come out with like a new, I guess like a little package, they just throw it in there and stuff. But is the InShot, is that like its own editing program?
Yes, it's its own editing program. So I do all my editing from there. You know what I'm saying?
You do all that over the phone?
On my iPad, yeah. I do it on my iPad.
Oh, yeah, iPad. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'd be tough to do on the phone. I mean, you could download it on your phone too and do editing on my phone, but it'd just be a little bit like more annoying on your phone, because you know you dealing with a smaller screen. So, you know, but you can do it on your phone too. You do it on your phone. I do mine on my iPad. You know what I'm saying? But the name of it is called InShot, man. It works real good, bro. And
you got to pay for that?
Yeah, but it's not expensive, bro. It's like $15 for the year or something like that, fam. So it's real inexpensive.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna look into that. But yeah, man, another good show, man. I gotta start doing videos again, man. I just been a lot busy and stuff, man. Just, you know, I be having shit, like I be recording shit, but I never get to the part where I gotta put it out. So the shit just be like fucking pretty much like past due. So I just end up deleting and shit.
Yeah, man. I know that. I be having the same thing, man, because you be trying to be up to date with everything that's going on, and you feel like if you release something too late, it ain't no longer relevant. You know what I'm saying? Also, the editing shit take time too, bro. Like, so
exactly,
it really do, man. So, you know, but I've kind of like done it enough where I can kind of get it done in not too much time, you know. But it's still real time consuming though. You know what I'm saying? But shit, bro. If you need help with anything, bro, if you trying to figure something out or whatever with the channel, bro, you know what I mean, just let me know. You reach out to me and we'll link up and I can help you out with it some more. You know.
Yeah, matter of fact, I put my number. I'm gonna put my number in the private chat and whatnot.
Okay.
You know, if you hit me up and whatnot, just in case like I got some questions and stuff.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, you put it in the private chat, man, and I'll hit you up, bro. I'll probably hit you up probably tonight or tomorrow or something, you know. We can talk more about it, you know, but you know, whatever questions you got or you know, whatever it is, bro. Cause you definitely have like as far as boxing knowledge, man, I would consider your level of boxing knowledge, man, top tier. You know what I mean? So, you know, whenever you get that part of it, you know, with the video titles and the editing and all that, which you don't even really need the editing. It's just more so just doing it, you know, just for aesthetics and just that sort of thing. But you know, if you whatever you need, bro, I got you. You're not go for anybody, bro. If you need help with your channel or whatever, starting it or editing or whatever it is, bro, hit me up, bro. Y'all can email me box or die box with an X or with an X die at gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I get with you, or you can just hit me up and we'll link up and we'll, you know, figure out what it is with the channel, bro. It's all love for me, bro, at the end of the day. And I got you on here, Bold. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna wrap up the live, bro. I just want to shout out everybody, man, who was able to slide through and show your boy some love out here today on these boxing streets, man. The panel, first and foremost, man, we got to show love to AB, Bold and Understandings. You know what I'm saying? My guy Knockout Boxing 86 TV done came through. You know what I'm saying? Who else was in here? We had I forgot homie name, bro. What's homie name, man? Nah. And I can't think of homie name, man. I'm looking for him in the chat. I don't know. Levi Anderson. There you go. Levi Anderson, man. Salute to you, fam, for pulling up. I know we don't agree. It's all good, bro. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's all love for me, like I say. So salute to you. Salute to who else was the other dude that was up on here? My guy D Young was over here earlier. You know what I'm saying? He over here driving and shit like that. You know what I mean? So he had all that background noise. But salute to D Young. Salute to everybody. My guy AB came through. Salute to everybody that was able to come through, man. And everybody in the chat, bro. My guy Fresh Prez, my guy Terry Smooth Jr., you know what I mean? Trolling out here in the track. Charles Picnic, you know what I'm saying? G Parker, of course, my guy Cash, you know what I'm saying? Came through with the super chat today. Page, my guy Joel Hill, you know what I'm saying? Came through with a super chat. C's was in the building today. Renaissance Rain also in the building today, man. My guy Yahweh was also in the building today. Salute to you, fam. My guy Andre was also in the building. Eminem, you know, salute to everybody who was able to come through, man. Show your boy some love, man. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show here, man. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button. But until next time, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.